Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Wherever you're at in the world, welcome to Last Raps Baseball's live commentary of the Nippon Professional Baseball League. Tonight, we are going to bring you a live commentary of the Eagles and the Lions. And it is going to be the battle of the 4th and the 6th place teams in the Pacific League. Both of these teams have been disappointing this year, and probably the biggest disappointment has been the Golden Eagles. We have couple of folks that are in the stream already. Our friend Titus, Eddie, asking as well if the Trevor Bauer is going to start for the Bay Stars. Not tonight. It'll probably be Tuesday or Wednesday next week that he will go. So first of all, we'll give the starting lineups, beginning with the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. It's leading off and playing shortstop is number 34, Tsuyoshi Yamazaki. Batting second and playing second base is number 48, Yoshiaki Watanabe. Batting third and playing third base is number 39, Yukiya Ito. In the cleanup spot and doing the designated hitting is number 3, Hideto Asamura. Batting fifth in center field is number 27, Takeru Okajima. Batting in the sixth spot and playing in right field is number 35, Hiroki Shimouchi. Batting seventh and playing first base is number 7, Daichi Suzuki. Hitting eighth and doing the catching is number 2, Hikaru Oda. Batting ninth in left field is number 6, Haruki Nishikawa. They're going to be facing Kona Takahashi, who takes to the hill with a 3-1 record. He's worked 42 innings this year. He's allowed 25 hits, 9 runs, 7 which have been earned. He has walked 11 and struck out 38, and he's got an ERA of 1.50. Well, that's the starting lineup for the Golden Eagles. Where this one's ready to get underway, we'll give the lineup for the Lions just before they come to bat. The first pitch of the ball game is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. That first pitch to Yamazaki looked like it was up and in, and if that's the kind of strike zone that the right-hander Takahashi is going to get, then it's going to be an easy night for him. There's a fastball that misses, and the count goes to 1-1. Our friend Alexander Leggett in the chat this evening, and we welcome him. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Is Takahashi ready to go back to work again? He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on it. Is grounded over to first. Fielded neatly by David McKinnon, who steps on the bag, and that's going to retire Yamazaki for the first out of the inning when they ground out to 3. So 1 up and 1 away, and that's going to bring up the second baseman, Yoshiaki Watanabe. Our friend BVP in the house tonight as well. He says, no, it is Robert Gazelman, who is taking to the hill for the Bay Stars this evening. I would anticipate Bauer will go either Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. So 1 gone here as Watanabe steps to the plate. He's hitting .250 with no homers and 2 RBIs. Right-hander Takahashi delivers. There's a fastball that just misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. Defensively tonight for the Lions, in the outfield from left to right, it'll be Suzuki in left. The center fielder is Hasegawa, and it is Ito in right. There's a fastball swung on it. Is grounded over to short. Kadama fields it. He throws to first, and that is going to retire Watanabe on a ground out 6-3. So 2 up and 2 away here for the Golden Eagles, and that's going to leave it all up to the third baseman, Yukiya Ito. Just rounding out the rest of the defense as we go around the horn from first to third. McKinnon is the first baseman. Tonosaki is at second. Shortstop is Kadama, and the third baseman is Nin-Ting Wu tonight with the battery of Takahashi and Koga. And here's the first pitch. It is a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0 to Ito. Ito batting .265 with a homer and a couple RBIs. As the pitch is on the way, there's a fastball swung on and it is lifted foul over on the first base side, and the count goes to 1-1. Our friend Shotgun Shell is in the house. We welcome him as well. We are in good spirits tonight, and as long as the stream keeps doing well, we're going to be happy. And there's a fastball swung on and lined into center field. That's going to be a base hit for Ito. And that is going to bring up the designated hitter, Hideto Asamura. Our friend BVP says he's doing great. He finally gets to watch the Bay Stars at a decent time. We have Steve Jordan in the house tonight. We appreciate you for popping back in here, Steve. Thanks here for being with us. So the runner at first is Ito. There is 2 gone as Takahashi gets ready to go back to work. He holds set at the chest and now delivers. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Hideto Asamura. Asamura batting .210. He's got 6 homers and 14 runs batted in on the year. He's really started to pick it up as the right-hander looks at the side from his catcher and he works to the set position. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball that misses up and away, and the count goes to 1-1 on Asamura. Steve says he's going to help us get a lot of viewers. Well, we appreciate that. Or at least a lot of listeners, because that's what we're doing here. Here comes the 1-1 pitch as the right-hander holds set. And now he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away. It's going to reach the seats over on the first baseline. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Hideto Asamura. Right-hander Takahashi here, we were laughing earlier, and I know Alexander Leggett said he's got definitely one of the better flows. Tonight he's got it kind of pinned back in a ponytail, which is interesting as well. But he does have the flow going, and he's got the interesting green glove to offset as well. There's a fastball that swung on and missed. Asamura goes down on strikes for out number 3, and that's going to do it here for the Eagles in their half of the first inning. There was no runs in the inning. There was a hit, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. We're through a half complete. It is the Eagles no score. The Lions coming to bat. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call at the bottom of the first inning in just a couple moments. Appreciate everybody for checking in here with us tonight. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. We're going to give you the starting lineups, or the batting order for the Seibu Lions. Leading off and playing in center field is number 63, Shinya Hasegawa. Then the 2 spot and playing third base is number 39, Nin-Ting Wu. Batting third at second base is number 5, Shuta Tonosaki. The cleanup spot and doing the designated hitting is the player of the month for March, April, and that's Takiya Nakamura. And the 5 spot and playing first base is number 30, David McKinnon. Hitting 6th in right field is number 53, Ito. Batting 7th in left field is number 46, Shohei Suzuki. Batting 8th and doing the catching is number 22, Yuta Koga. And batting 9th at shortstop is number 0, Ryosuke Kadama. And that is your Lions starting lineup. And they are facing tonight a right-hander for the Eagles in Shoma Fujihira. He is 2-1 on the season. He's made 3 starts. He's worked 17 and a third innings, allowed 12 hits. He's given up 6 runs, 5 of which have been earned. He's walked 11 and struck out 10, but he's got an ERA of 2.60. So anything that the Golden Eagles can do to unlock some consistency, whether it be from their starting staff or from their offense, it will be good for them to be able to do that. So we'll see how this is going to work out tonight for the right-hander Fujihira. We are going to be doing these same 2 teams again tomorrow night, as we are going Eagles and Lions in back-to-back succession. And then we were going to look at the week ahead, a lot of middle of the night ball games. And so we're going to have to pick and choose which ones we're going to look at. There's a first pitch fastball that swung on and missed. The count is 1-1 to Hasegawa. Hasegawa batting a .250 on the season. He's 3 for 12. He's got no homers and no runs batted in. Right-hander against the right-hander as the pitcher Fujihira delivers a fastball for a called strike, and the count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes to Hasegawa. Full slate of games in the NPB tonight, but we are only going to be doing the early game here. We're going to be calling it a night after this one. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined past the glove of the second baseman into right field, just past the outstretched arms of Watanabe as he was ranging to his right. I haven't seen a lot of Watanabe at second base. We've seen obviously Asamura, who is the regular, and we've seen some Kobakato over there. But Watanabe just passed his outstretched glove into center field, and it's going to be a leadoff single here for Hasegawa. And that's going to bring up the third baseman, Nin-Ting Wu. If I'm the pitching coach or the manager of the Eagles, I'm probably losing my mind right now. You get up 0-2 on Hasegawa, and you just leave too good of a pitch over the plate for him to pound into center field. That is going to bring up the third baseman, Ning-Ting Wu. For Wu, he is hitting .241 on the season. He's 7 for 29. No homers and 5 runs batted in. As Fujihira steps off the back of the mound and gives a token fake toss over to first base. Easily getting back as the runner. Sometimes they like to do that when the batter comes to the plate. And usually that might tip off if the batters are going to square to bunt. If they break their hands or wherever else, sometimes that might tip them off. Here's the pitch. It is a fastball that is check swing fouled over on the third base side of home plate. The count is 0-1. Other games around the NPB tonight. There are a full slate of games, as we said. The games that are going to go late will be the Swallows and the Dragons. That's going to go off at the Jinju, and at the Kyocera Dome, it's going to be the Buffaloes and the Hawks. Of course, that is probably the sexy matchup of the Pacific League. As here comes the 0-1 pitch to Wu. It is a slow breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count is now 0-2 to Wu. So I'll be very interested to see how Fujihira makes out here tonight. One of the problems that he's had on the year for the right-hander has been his walks. I don't like his walk rate. 11 walks in 17 and a third innings. Couple that with 16 hits. Starts to get his whip up around the 1.5 mark. There's a fastball swung on and missed. And Wu is down on strikes. That pitch might have been a little too good. Wu must have been thinking off speed there. It came in with a knee-high fastball on the inside part of the plate. And he goes down for out number 1, and that's going to bring up the second baseman, Shuta Tonosaki. Our friend Alexander says he's looking forward to the Swallows game. Could be a good matchup. So 1 down, and Tonosaki striding to the plate. He's batting .295 on the early going. 6 homers and 14 RBIs. As he bats here against the right-handed throwing Fujihira. Alexander said he seemed to be thinking sinker. He was probably looking away at something that would have been, you're right, possibly how many two-seamers that Fujihira is going to throw, I don't know. But you're right, certainly something on the outer part of the plate. It looked like a very defensive swing from Wu. As they throw over to first base again, they are concerned about the runner Hasegawa. He doesn't have a stolen base this year, but he's in the leadoff spot. And there's a fastball that misses inside, and the count is 1-0. That backed Tonosaki off the dish. So 1 ball and no strikes. Looking forward to interleague play. That's still a couple of weeks away. Our friend Alexander says his stream seems to be perfectly in sync with ours, and it's good because we haven't had any of the wheels spinning tonight, that's for sure. That was going to drive us crackers. Probably would have done 2 games that night had we had some decent stuff, but I didn't want to take the risk and then be up and be frustrated for back-to-back ball games as that breaking ball drops in for a called strike, and the count goes to 1-1 on Tonosaki. For those of you who listened in the other night, I thought for sure we were going to have to start putting a live stream up at our end and showing how we were going to throw our computer equipment out the window, smash it all to bits. That probably would have went viral. There's a ball thrown over to first base, and diving back in time is the runner Hasegawa. Very, very frustrating night. So 1 ball and 1 strike as Fujihira is waiting here to get the signal from his catcher Oda as he works to the set position, and now he lifts to the chest. He checks the runner, and now he delivers. It's a fastball that misses down, and the count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike it is. It looked like the runner wanted to go, but Hasegawa looked like he stumbled. He does have a pretty healthy lead over there at first base. He's got 1 foot onto the turf, and the other foot is on the dirt. Wasn't able to get himself going. Here comes the offering now from the right-hander Fujihira. As he holds set and now delivers, there's a slow breaking ball that just misses outside, and the count now goes to 3-1 on Tonosaki. So 3 balls and 1 strike it is. So Hasegawa led off the ball game with a single here for the Lions. Wu had struck out. It's now 3 balls and 1 strike to Tonosaki. As the right-hander works to the set, he checks the runner at first. And now he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. This is lifted into right field. Moving over to his right, he started in on it was Shimauchi, and then he had to move a little further into the right center field gap, but he's able to haul that one in, and Tonosaki is retired for the second out of the inning. And that is going to leave it all up to the designated hitter, Takiya Nakamura. Well, for Nakamura, he is off to an outstanding start. The soon-to-be 40-year-old, or toward the end of the year, has been absolutely massive. He's hitting .337. He's got 8 homers and 16 RBIs. He was named the Pacific League Player of the Month for March-April. As he steps up to bat here, the big fella is drinking from the fountain of youth. As the right-hander Fujihira ready to deliver as he holds to the set position. And the pitch is on the way. It's a fastball that misses down for ball 1. The count is 1-0. We didn't give you the defensive alignment for the Eagles tonight, but from left to right, it is Nishikawa in left, Okajima's in center, and Shimauchi's in right. Around the horn from first to third, it is Suzuki at first. At second is Watanabe. The shortstop is Yamazaki. And at third, it is Ito with the battery of Fujihira. And, of course, Oda. As there is a fastball that misses down, and the count now goes to 2-0 to Nakamura. So 2 balls and no strikes. Our friend Kyle is in the house tonight, or I should say Ryan Doherty. BVP says we're perfectly aligned too. That's outstanding. Everybody is all queued up. It can't be any better than this. Maybe I got to get my air conditioning on. Here comes the 2-0 pitch, and there's a breaking ball that swung on and missed. They throw down to first base and try to backdoor Hasegawa, but he's back safely. Oh, they might have caught him napping. A nice snap throw there by Oda. They had him getting off the base, and it looked like he was leaning the wrong way, and then he had to do the old crawl back to the bag, but he was able to just get his hand in there safely. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Nakagawa. I have to say this, one of the things that I wasn't a big fan of on that secondary lead by Hasegawa is he wasn't hard back to the base. It looked like he had taken a little extra movement. There's a split-finger pitch that is swung on and missed. And the count now goes to 2-2. Our friend Sean in the house says he's got us synced with the QQ, and he says it couldn't be any better. Well, we appreciate that, Sean. Good to see you here tonight. From Random True Facts is in the house here tonight, and he says, you guys bet on this? There's a bunch of people who do. You're in the right place. As our friend Alexander Leggett makes some picks, and if you want to go and take a look, you can do whatever you need to do. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. As Fujihira delivers, there's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Sean says, why bring money into it? You know, the reality of it is, Sean, is that it's just so much that's going on these days in the gambling world. And I know the National Hockey League specifically has had some of its issues. Every time you turn the TV on, there's something that's all going on. The reality of it is that I did the picks for the month of April. I just did our picks on our channel. And the reality of it is picking baseball is extremely difficult, especially in the Japanese league where they only post the lineups up an hour before the game. There's a breaking ball that is swung on and missed. And Nakamura goes down on strikes for the 3rd out of the inning. That is strikeout number 2. And that is going to do it here for the Lions in their half of the 1st inning. There was no runs, there was a hit, no errors, and there was a runner left aboard. We are now 1 complete. It is the Eagles 0 and the Lions 0. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call at the top of the 2nd inning after this. Appreciate you guys for stopping in. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. We're going to have the 5, 6, and 7 hitters come to bat for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles in their half of the second inning. It's going to be Takiro Okajima, Hiroki Shimouchi, and then it'll be Daichi Suzuki to get things going here, as the starter Takahashi was pretty effective in his first inning of work. Our friend Clay Thetford is in the house here. One of the things that people do there, Clay, is they will use the stream that they get and then they sync it up to us so that way there they can listen to the stream and watch the game at the same time. As the first pitch is on the way to Okajima, it's a breaking ball that misses outside for ball one. So 1 ball and no strikes to Okajima. Okajima batting from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Takahashi. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. Okajima batting .260 on the season with 3 homers and 9 runs batted in. He's played some pretty steady ball for the Golden Eagles this year so far. There's a breaking ball that misses inside, and the count is now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Clay says it's hard to click because it's all in Chinese. Well, you have to cycle the site a little bit, but you'll get there. There's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is now 3-1. Either that or you're going to have to pick up your Mandarin a little bit, and that'll cut down on the time to be able to find it. Back to BVP, he says that the betting odds are crazy right now. There's a fastball that misses down and in, and that's going to be ball 4, as Okajima is going to get himself a leadoff walk here in the second. And that'll bring up Hiroki Shimouchi. Well, Shimouchi is batting .190 on the season. He's absolutely been having a dismal start. He's got a couple of homers and 11 RBIs. As I've mentioned, for those of you who do listen to our streams, I really like Shimouchi. He's a veteran player. He has got a professional presence, just the way that he carries himself about the game. But the word on the street was before the season that the Golden Eagles are not going to offer him another contract at the end of this year. So they're not going to extend him. The problem is that in the case of Shimouchi, he's going to be a goner here, and who knows where he's going to end up. There's a breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. This is definitely not playing yourself into a contract by any means. He has had a couple of good seasons, especially with him and Asamura in the middle of the order last year. They were just feeding off one another. But he is batting well over 100 points below what he hit last year. Here comes the 1-0 offering, and it's a breaking ball that is waved out and missed. The count is 1-1. He almost looks confused at the plate, especially on that last swing. It was a breaking ball inside, and his head snapped back. He went up into the air looking at it. Alexander says that Shimouchi is a good defender. Yeah, he is a pretty solid defender. Can play both right and left field. Kind of a steady Eddie. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is grounded over to second. Tonosaki goes to second for 1. Back to first. It's not going to be in time. That's going to be a fielder's choice. It's going to erase Okajima 4-6 for the first out of the inning. Shimouchi was safe at the back end. And that is going to bring up the first baseman, Daichi Suzuki. And there's an example of it right there. He had rolled it over to second base. Instead of sticking his head down and pouting a little bit, Shimouchi ran hard down the line, able to beat out the back end to prevent the double play from happening. We've got Kev Benno in the house tonight. He says, who do you think's going to win? Well, if you'll look up the stream a little bit there, Kev, you might see some of the people's thoughts. One would have to think I like the Lions just because of the starting pitcher. There's a fastball that's taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Daichi Suzuki. Suzuki batting .264. He's got a couple of homers and 4 RBIs. I also like the Lions on the simple fact that I've watched the Eagles play a little bit over the last couple of weeks, and I really don't like the way they're playing. I'm a little disappointed because when I thought of them last year, especially, we've talked about this before, how good their streak was. I think they rattled off about 17 in a row at one point last year, and then they've never played good baseball after that. It was like they burned it all up in the month of May, and it's been all downhill ever since. So here comes the no ball, 1 strike pitch to Suzuki, and it's a breaking ball swung on and grounded foul just past the first base coach's box, and the count now is 0-2 to to Daichi Suzuki. So I'm not sure how I would put that. I also saw earlier tonight, and if you're looking at Instagram at all, they had a Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters. I don't know if those are going to be the uniforms they're going to be wearing in tonight's game, but those things there were absolute eyesore. Get a chance to check out the fighter's jersey. There's a fastball down in the dirt. It squirts away from the catcher, Koga. He picks it up and he throws to second. It's not going to be in time. Some good heads up running there by Shimochi, but it looks like the Lions are going to challenge this. So let's see what's going to happen here. I thought for sure it was going to be an easy base, at least something, at least with in terms of the read that Shimochi had. We're going to have to get a replay of this one. But the way we have it is that he's advanced on that ball that was in the dirt. A wild pitch will be more than likely charged to the pitcher, Takahashi. Our friend Alexander Leggett says a waste of a challenge. As far as I'm concerned, it is. Let's get the replay on this and maybe see why they're challenging. The throw went down to second base. The throw looked like it may have beat him there, but the tag down in time. And I think it is a waste of a challenge. I think the Lions are going to lose this one, but maybe they got a different angle than what we do. It looks like the base moved before the tag was slammed into. Yeah. Shimochi's going to be safe. There's no doubt about it. I can't see this being a long challenge as well. But we'll see how this one shapes up here. I've seen some strange calls, and then here comes the umpires, and they're going to rule that Shimochi is safe at second. So absolutely a waste of a challenge. Probably should have been thought about earlier, but that is going to take one of the challenges away. So they've got one left the rest of the ball game to the Lions. So Shimochi advances on the wild pitch. We've got 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Suzuki, as the catcher Hikaru Oda waits his turn on deck. So the double play has been erased here. As the right-hander Takahashi now kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball that comes inside and has hit Suzuki, and he is going to get first base awarded. Well, that'll bring the double play possibility back in, as Suzuki is going to take off the body armor and make his way to first. That'll bring up Hikaru Oda. Well, for Oda, he's batting .276. He's got a couple of homers and a couple RBIs. It's an opportunity to hit here with a couple of ducks on the pond. Anyways, back to Sean a few minutes ago when he was in the chat and he was saying, like, why talk about betting and everything else? That's been one of the problems, as we said, about the National Hockey League. You can bet on anything right now. And there's been a lot of stuff up, at least on our side of the border, that they're talking about regulating certain things. But when you think about it, you go back 25, 30 years ago, beer commercials couldn't be played before, I think, 11 o'clock in the morning, and they could only be played to a certain time. There's a breaking ball delivered and taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Well, once it's here, it's never going to go away. And then the question comes in is, how much of it is going to be shown and when is it going to be shown? There's just so much of it now because it's on the boards at the hockey games. They do it during the play. They talk about it all the time. Here's the 0-1 pitch. There's a fastball that just misses outside, and the count is now 1-1. You think of the National Football League. National Football League, in some ways, probably the leader in North American sports, or the leader in North American sports for betting, as it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Our friend BVP said he was going to post about that. The fighters' jerseys are an affront to good jerseys everywhere. Oh, absolutely. Our friend Spaceman V says, no one wants to stop the money train. That's exactly what it boils down to. There's a lot of money on these sports. I have a friend of mine was telling me a number of years ago when he went overseas, when they first were getting the Taiwanese league going, as the 1-1 pitch is on the way. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away. And the count is 1-2. And they said that they were concerned with the people that were throwing games over there, or people, just the amount of influence, that there was so much money on it that some of the players were being threatened at their hotels and everything else. And some of the North American players just said, nope, we're out of here. We're not playing in this league, because they were gambling on everything. I also know a situation where number of years ago, I had a friend of mine was umpiring in the Dominican League as there's a breaking ball that misses inside, and the count is now 2-2. And Doug was telling me, he says that they had an incident, not with him, his crew, but that there were some people that showed up with guns in the lobby of the hotel wanting the umpires because they thought the umpires had cost them a game that on a call cost them a lot of money. And so you're going to have to up the ante of the protection of your officials and also of players, especially when people are putting a lot of money on the line. Here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball swung on and missed, and Oda is gone on strikes for the second out of the inning. It's going to leave it all up to the 9-hole hitter in Haruki Nishikawa. Our friend Random True Fact says he flipped the coin and took the Golden Eagles. I thought about that as a possible chance for a stream. Is maybe what you should do is should make my predictions, then I should take the coin, and then I should have maybe a budgie or a dog or something, or a monkey, and see what their picks would be, and who knows who could be better. So 2 gone, with the runner at first being Suzuki and Shimochi at second, and the first pitch delivered to Nishikawa is swung on and fouled away. The count is 0-1. Nishikawa batting 179 on the season with a homer and 3 RBIs. His best baseball was played in the month of March, April last year, where he was the player of the month for the Golden Eagles in the Pacific League. And then it was all downhill after that. He had come to the Golden Eagles last year from the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters. As the 0-1 pitch is on the way, it's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count now goes to 1-1. And he's never really been able to find his footing. He was kind of a staple in the leadoff spot for them, and then he ended up finding his way out of there. And next thing you know, he was down on the farm a little bit, and now he's back, finds himself back in the lineup, but in the 9 holes. So Nishikawa, who does play some pretty good defense, needs to get the bat going. There's the breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Our friend Andy Altmanor in the house tonight says turning in for a bat or two. He'll be at the game at Escon Field tomorrow for the Fighters and the Marines. Well, hopefully, Andy, we were just talking about the Marines and their gaudy-looking uniforms tonight. If you haven't seen them, check them out on Instagram. They are an eyesore. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 2-2. Maybe they'll wear them for you this weekend. And if they do, you won't have to you make sure you bring your sunglasses because they're going to burn your eyes. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. I can see the reason for the god-awful looking uniforms. It's maybe to hide some of the poor play at times, because everybody will be talking about the uniforms and not about their poor play. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. As Nishikawa waits here on the offering from Takahashi, who holds and now delivers. There's a fastball swung on. It is slat foul over on the third base side, and the count remains at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. And as we mentioned, we will be back on the airways with these same 2 teams tomorrow night, same time. Would have probably preferred to do the Buffaloes and the Hawks series, but that doesn't quite happen to fall into our time frame, so we stayed with this one for 2. BVP says he doesn't mind sports betting, but the advertising in the U.S. is ridiculously irresponsible. There's a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded softly to second, and it's going to get by the pitcher, and it is going to be fielded by Tonosaki, but he's going to have a play nowhere, and that is going to load the bases. That's going to be an infield single here for Nishikawa. It's going to look like a line drive in the box score. They're going to have to wipe the blood off the ball because it just bled past Takahashi. He's been able to turn the batting order over to bring up Tsuyoshi Yamazaki. Well, for Yamazaki tonight, he is 0 for 1. He grounded out to first his first time up. Our friend BVP says about it being irresponsible. Well, it's kind of like, for example, it's the Wild West really right now. Even to some degree, they can't regulate YouTube because people are talking about it and people are chatting about it, or people are involved, podcasts, anything it might be. And when you think about it, it is the absolute Wild West. And so there's no good time to make some money than probably right now, as the batter Yamazaki strides into the plate here Waiting on the first offering from Takahashi, who delivers a fastball that misses way upstairs, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Yamazaki. So 1 ball and no strikes. Takahashi pitching here with the bases loaded. Pitch number 37 on the way as the 1-0 is delivered. It's a fastball swung on. It is grounded through the 4-hole into right field. That's going to get a run in. Coming home to score is Shimauchi. Here's the throw to the plate, and it is airmailed the catcher. And that is, they held the runner up at third. Third base coach was holding the base runner, Daichi Suzuki, but that's going to get the first run of the ball game in. It's going to be an RBI single for Yamazaki. That's going to plate Shimauchi for the first run. Stopping at third is Suzuki, and Nishikawa holds at second. But boy, that was an absolutely gong show of a throw by Ito. As that ball ended up the line, it could have probably wheeled Suzuki around. I'm going to get a look at the replay on that. Where was the third base coach? He was coming down the line, wheeling him, and then he threw on the brakes, but it was like he wasn't even looking at the throw. If he was watching the throw, that ball was probably a good 25 feet up the third base line. Well, RBI single it is here for Yamazaki, and that is going to bring up the second baseman, Yoshiaki Watanabe. Well, Takahashi has really pitched well in the early going. He's sort of struggled his last couple of times out, so he came right out of the chute in the groove. So maybe it's time for a night off, or maybe a spot where he gets his start pushed back a little bit. So Watanabe coming to the plate here. He is 0 for 1 tonight. He grounded to the shortstop his first time up. The Eagles are now in a 1-0 lead here in the top of the second, and the pitch is on the way. It's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is quickly 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Friend Clay says, are the Eagles going to win? Well, a little early there, Clay, but one would have to think that they've obviously got a chance. We're in the second inning, for crying out loud. We got all kinds of time. So here comes the 1-0 offering as Takahashi holds to the set position. And now time has been called by the batter, Watanabe, as Takahashi has taken far too long. Probably wouldn't have survived the Major League Baseball pitch clock. Usually the Japanese pitchers, for the most part, are pretty decent in terms of being able to work quickly. I know when we've done the Hanshin Tiger games, their bullpen is excruciatingly painfully slow. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is line foul down the third base line. Oh boy, it just wasn't foul by much. So that's going to even the count now to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. And let's see how far foul that was. Oh, maybe about 6 inches or so. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Watanabe. As Fujihira is up and throwing in front of the dugout. Clay says another run here would be good. Here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is now 2-1. This is not a good sign for the Lions, with their big guy on the mound and the Golden Eagles with the bases loaded here, looking to add another run to their tally. Pitch number 41 upcoming here from Takahashi as the right-hander holds set. And now he kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away, and that evens the count now at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Watanabe. As we said before, we do appreciate everybody who comes and listens into the ball games. We sometimes get different crowds on different nights. Sometimes it's more of a gambling crowd. Sometimes it's more of a pretty decent just hangout crowd and listen to the ball game. And that's what we had during the week. A lot of those folks in here made for a really entertaining chat. Here comes the pitch. It's a breaking ball swung on. This is lifted foul into the netting down the third base line. And that's going to keep the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Our friend Tyler is in the house tonight. Welcome, Tyler. I can actually engage in the chat. I know you were here the other night, but we were having all kinds of issues with video and stuff and weren't able to pop in with everybody else. Clay asked the question, what's the most people you'd ever had in one of these streams? For the World Baseball Classic, we actually were up around 80 people in the stream between Twitch and YouTube. So there's a breaking ball that misses down. That's going to run the count to 3-2. I like to say the sweet spot is somewhere between 20 and 30. When we first started doing it a couple of years ago, we often talk about it. There was a Korean fella who was in the stream listening, and there was another fellow who was an American from living in Yokohama, Ben Roberts, who comes into the stream sometimes. He's back in the States now. And it was us basically talking to ourselves. So it's nice to have a bunch of people in here. So yeah, up around 80 has been the best. But YouTube alone, usually we've had some in the 50s before. So here comes the 3-2 pitch as the right-hander holds set, and now he delivers. And it's a breaking ball that misses outside. That's going to be ball 4, as Watanabe is going to get himself a walk here. That's going to advance everybody up a base. It's going to be an RBI for Watanabe. Coming in to score is going to be Suzuki. That's the second run of the ball game. And it's going to move Nishikawa over to third. Yamazaki advances to second with that Watanabe walk, and that'll bring up the third baseman, Yukiya Ito. So 2 runs are on the board. That's going to bring up the third baseman, Ito. Ito tonight singled with 2 out in the first inning. He is 1 for 1 in this one, as he bats here with the bases loaded and a 2 gone here in the second inning. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball that just misses outside for a ball, and the count is 1-0. We like Clay's enthusiasm, but as Alexander said, just trying to wait there a little bit, because what a lot of people do is they'll take their video feed and sync it up to the English feed that we're doing here. That way we can kind of keep it there. So just watch out for the spoilers. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. And there's a breaking ball that catches the outside corner, and the count is 1-1. But we do like the enthusiasm of our listeners, that's for sure. 1 ball and 1 strike it is to Yukiya Ito. Takahashi really having to go to work here in this inning. Only 12 pitches in the first inning, and he is now at 34 pitches in this inning alone. Here comes pitch number 35 as the breaking ball is swung on and missed. And now the count goes to 1-2 on Ito. Hard to say here. The Eagles have 2 runs in this inning, but if they aren't able to cash any more, I think they may feel a bit hard done by. They've got the bases loaded. They're working the pitcher here. As we're able to do it. BVP says, I'm a part of the vibes crowd. Yeah, good vibes for sure. As the 1-2 pitch is ready to come here from the right-hander. And it is a split finger pitch swung on and missed. And that is going to retire Ito for the 3rd out of the inning. And that will do it here. But there was damage in the inning. A couple of runs here in the inning on the benefit of 2 hits. So 2 runs on 2 hits. There was no errors, and there were 3 runners left aboard. We're now through 1.5. Your score is the Eagles 2, the Lions no score. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple of moments. We appreciate everybody for listening in here tonight. We'll be right back after this.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred with Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 5, 6, and 7 hitters to come to bat here for the Lions in their half of the second inning. It is going to be David McKinnon, Ito, and Shohei Suzuki to face the right-hander Fujihira here in their half of the second inning. The Golden Eagles, with those 2 runs, it really was a bit of an awkward way in which they've got it. Wasn't like they were pounding the ball all over the yard. A walk to Okajima started that inning, and then the fielder's choice by Shimouchi, as we said at the time. Excellent job by Shimouchi, running hard down the line to stand to the double play. And they plugged Daichi Suzuki, and after a strikeout to Oda, was a single by Nishikawa, a single by Yamazaki, and then a walk to Watanabe that got the runs in. And that is where we stand. Well, David McKinnon steps to the plate. He's pulled his season average up to 250. He's got 6 homers and 17 RBIs. McKinnon batting from the right side, and the first pitch is a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0. McKinnon had started off the season on a decent foot, and then he went into a bit of a slump. As here comes the pitch. It is a fastball that misses down, and the count is now 2-0. And 2 balls and no strikes to McKinnon. And he was floundering around the 200 mark. But now it looks like he has steadied the ship, and he is playing swinging the bat right now as he's pulled that average back up to 250. So here comes the 2-0 offering from Fujihira, and the fastball catches the outside corner for a called strike, and the count is now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike to David McKinnon. Our friend Alexander says he wants him to hit a dinger here, though. Yeah, he's got some pop in the stick. Here comes the offering. It is a breaking ball that just misses upstairs, and the count now goes to 3-1. McKinnon at this pace here, probably on pace to hit between 20 and 25 homers. As the right-hander lifts and delivers, kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses outside, and McKinnon's going to get himself a leadoff walk here in the second inning. That is going to bring up the right fielder, Ito. Our friend BVP gives us the update as Neftali Soto had an RBI single, raising an average from 071. Yeah, Soto is definitely off to a rough start, that's for sure. Kind of sad. He's had a pretty good career. I think he's been 6 years in the NPB after leaving the Cincinnati Red organization. That's the way she goes. So here comes the first offering from Fujihira as he delivers to Ito. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted into deep left field. Racing back and at the edge of the warning track and making the grab is the left fielder Nishikawa, and that's going to send McKinnon all the way back to first. So that is a fly ball out. We thought that maybe Ito might have got all of it, but he just missed it. He just got underneath it a little bit. And catching it at the edge of the warning track there was Nishikawa. Back to the gym for Ito. Maybe a few more curls. But he just got a little bit underneath that one, and that's going to be one gone. That'll bring up the left fielder, Shohei Suzuki. Well, and for Suzuki, he's batting .224 on the season. He's got no homers and 3 RBIs. He's one of the base-stealing threats in the lineup. Both he and Shuta Tonosaki can run a little bit for the Lions. As the first pitch is on the way, it's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Yeah, Ito just got a little bit underneath that one. It looked like initially that ball could have left the yard. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is now 0-2. If there's one thing to keep an eye on with Fujihira, as we said before, he walks too many batters. The walk to McKinnon there was his 11th of the season, and only 18 2/3 innings of work, and especially leadoff walks. You get a leadoff walk on, that has a tendency to come back to bite you. So we'll have to see how he manages his command and control here in this one. And there's a fastball that just misses inside, and the count now goes to 1-2. Our friend Living Room Sports in the house, he says he's here for the coin-flipping monkey. Either that or he's here for himself. We're not sure. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to the batter, Suzuki. As the right-hander works to the set position. Now Fujihira ready to go again. The 1-2 on the way. It's a breaking ball that misses upstairs. The count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now that would be a whole lot of entertainment, having a monkey or whatever else it might be. One of the kids tonight, we were running our program, and one of the mothers had a dog. She had a pug, as it's a 2-2 pitch that's ready to come here, and the fastball is delivered. It misses down, and the count now goes to 3-2. And the pug was named Nacho, and he was a mule-lipping kind of dog. He would be kind of the perfect one to make the predictions. Maybe we'll do that in a future week, do the predictions and have the dog called Nacho make the predictions. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Suzuki with the runner McKinnon at first. Fujihira hit the set position, checks the runner, and now he delivers. It's a fastball swung on. This is lifted into shallow center field. Coming hard on it is the center fielder, Okajima, who makes the catch. They're going to throw to first base, and that is going to double off McKinnon, as it was a hit and run. They had him in motion on the 3-2. And so that's going to go into the books as a double play, 8-3 for the second and third outs of the inning. And that is going to do it here for the Lions. No runs in the inning, no hits, no errors, and nobody left aboard. We are now moving to the top of the third. Your score is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 2 and the Seibu Seibu Lions no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few right after this. Appreciate y'all for listening in.
This is Steve Rademacher, and I'd like to introduce you to my channel if you haven't seen it before. These are all the things I enjoy: sports, autographs, relics, non-sports Hall of Famers, pseudo-sports, Star Wars. That's my channel name and my name, and I would really appreciate it if you would come check me out and maybe even subscribe if you like it. Thank you for that for now, and back to your ball game.
And right on cue with that infomercial, Steve Rademacher in the house tonight. And we appreciate Steve for being here with us. Be sure to check out his channel after the ball game for all your entertainment needs. Speaking of midget wrestling and monkeys, that would be the guy to look in for some of that stuff as well, because Steve has everything cornered all the time. Well, it's going to be Hideto Asamura, Takeru Okajima, and Hiroki Shimochi to get things going here in the third inning. As the starter, Takahashi has been maybe a bit of an escape artist in that last inning. Now he only gave up the 2 runs. I don't know, but that is certainly, he was fortunate he didn't give up more. He threw 36 pitches in the second inning. It's going to take the wind out of his sails, as the first offering is here to Asamura. It's a breaking ball that misses upstairs for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Asamura batting .208 on the year. Swings at a breaking ball, and he lifts this one foul. It's going to reach the seats down the first base line. It is definitely not a full house in this one here tonight. A little disappointing for a Saturday afternoon crowd. I don't know what the attendance is going to be here in this one, but I would say it's probably only 70% capacity. That's my early guess. We'll get the attendance for you a little later on in this one, as that breaking ball missed outside, and the count is 2-1. And there's another breaking ball, and that one misses inside, and the count is 3-1 to Asamura. So 3 balls and 1 strike. Takahashi ready to go back to work again as he comes to the set position, and now he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses down, and it's a leadoff walk here for Asamura as he is aboard, and that will bring up the center fielder Takeru Okajima. And on top of it, it's going to bring the catcher Koga out to the mound to have a few words with his right-hander. So Asamura As the runner at first base, Okajima comes to the plate. He walked his first time up, and he was erased on a fielder's choice. Friend Alexander Leggett says that Takahashi's been throwing muffins tonight. You got that right. This is not the sharp Takahashi we've seen. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. Well, and the other part to this is that when we did the game with Trevor Bauer the other night, and I said he seemed to fall in love with his breaking stuff, one of our other listeners who listens on delay, John Doherty, said the other part was it looked like he and Ito were not on the same page. A lot of stuff he was shaking off. There's the breaking ball that's taken for a called strike. The count is 1-1 strike. Our friend Alexander Leggett said, did you hear about that Jake Diekman for the Rays threw pitches listed as unidentified for his debut? No, I didn't see that. That would have been kind of funny, I'm sure. Here's the 1-1 pitch as Takahashi kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count is now 2-1. Who was Diekman released by recently? Was he a White Sox or was he a Red Sox? So obviously, if the Rays are picking you up, they probably used him as an opener because he's more of a reliever. As it's 2-1 strike here to Okajima. Right-hander Takahashi delivers. There's a fastball swung on and is lifted foul over on the third base side. That runs the count now to 2-2 strikes. So 2-2 strikes to Okajima. He's hitting .260 on the year with 3 homers and 9 RBIs. He's been very, very steady, and he's been taking over in center field. Ryosuke Tatsumi not able to keep his place as his batting has been very poor this year as the 2-2 is on the way. It's a breaking ball swung on and tapped foul behind home plate. So Okajima taking the job and running with it. As mentioned, we'll be back on the airwaves again tomorrow with these same 2 ball clubs, same time, same channel. So hopefully you guys can make it in here with us. There are other scores around the NPB, but both of those scores are from the Central League games as the Giants are up 1-0 on the Carp. That's in the top of the third inning at the Egg. There's a breaking ball swung on as tapped slowly to short. They go to second for 1, and that's all they're going to get. It's going to be a 6-4 fielder's choice. That's going to retire Asamura. Reaching first safely is Okajima. That is going to bring up the right fielder, Hiroki Shimouchi. As pointed out earlier by our friend BVP, it was a Neftali Soto RBI single that have the Bay Stars out in front of the Tigers at the Cochin Stadium. That game is in the bottom of the third. The only other game underway is the Marines and the Fighters. They're locked at 0s in the bottom of the third. Later starts are the Dragons and Swallows and the Hawks and Buffaloes. And here's the first pitch to Hiroki Shimouchi. It's a breaking ball that misses down for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. Shimouchi tonight bounced into the fielder's choice, but he did come around and score the first run of the ball game for the Golden Eagles. Average has now slipped below the 190 mark as he's got a couple of homers and 11 RBIs. It'd be helpful for the Eagles for him to break out of a slump. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted in deep center field. Moving back on it at the edge of the warning track and making the catch is Hasegawa. And retreating back to first base is the base runner Okajima as Shimouchi is gone for the second out of the inning. And that's going to leave it all up to the first baseman, Daichi Suzuki. Well, for Suzuki, he officially does not have an at-bat. He has a plate appearance. He was hit by the pitch his first time up, but he was able to make it all the way around for the second run of the ball game. He was brought home on a bases-loaded walk to Watanabe. And the first pitch to him is a breaking ball that misses down for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. The runner at first is Okajima. There's 2 gone here in the top of the third inning as the right-hander kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. It's going to reach the seats over on the third base side. The count now goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Other players that we have seen featured in past in the Golden Eagles lineup include Igoro Moji and, of course, Tatsumi, nowhere to be seen these days. There goes the runner down to second. The throw is down. It's in time, and they're going to nail Okajima. That's going to go down caught stealing, 2-6 for the third out of the inning. A nice throw there by the catcher, Koga. He does his job, and that is going to do it here for the Eagles in their half of the inning. No runs in the inning. There were no hits, no errors, and nobody left aboard. We are now through 2.5 innings. Your score is the Eagles 2, the Lions nothing. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back here in just a couple moments. What a great play there by the catcher, Koga. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving here now to the bottom half of the third inning, and it is a 2-0 ball game, but we'll be back in just a couple moments after this with all the action. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters in the batting order to come up here for the Lions. That means it's going to be Koga, Kodama, and Hasegawa. A nice play there by the catcher to gun down the would-be base stealer, as that is going to erase the runner Takeru Okajima for the third out of the inning, that last half inning. And so that is interesting there, because last year when Tomoya Mori, the catcher for the Lions, who was now, of course, with the Oryx Buffaloes, was their main guy. When he went down, they had a hard time, the Lions, controlling the running game. And specifically, you can always point to the pitchers first, but it was more along the lines of the catchers. The catchers couldn't throw out the trash. When Mori was hurt, as he had broken his hand, I think he punched a wall or his helmet or something along those lines. So that is the way it goes. Our friend 2300 Rick says, still don't think 700 was a good one. I think at this game here, I think under could be, normally the Japanese league unders are, they don't score a ton of runs, as there's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 0-1. These two teams here, they've not necessarily pitched very well this year. So there could be all kinds of scoring that could be put up onto the board. As here comes the 0-1 offering. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count is now 0-2. But, if you're asking me about my picks, I'm not sure. So no balls and 2 strikes. As the right-hander holds to the set. And now he kicks and delivers. There's nobody on. He's pitching from the stretch here is Fujihara. That breaking ball in the dirt, and it squirts away from the catcher, Oda. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Our friend, the living room, who was in here earlier, had a discussion with him a few months ago, and we were talking about especially the other part with the betting and the online betting, how you can cash out early and make a bit of money and maybe not get burned. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed. Koga's down on strikes. That's the third strikeout of the ball game for Fujihara. He's on for out number 1 is Koga, and that's going to bring up the shortstop Ryosuke Kodama. But just a thought again back on the living room for a second we were talking about, and it's the online betting has certainly been, there's a lot of game changers, a lot of different sweeteners that have been added here, certainly from the old days where, at least up in Canada, where they had in betting where you could walk into the stores and place your bets. Certainly some of that stuff has been changed quite a bit. As the first pitch is on the way to Kodama, it is a fastball swung on. It is popped up over on the left side of the infield. Moving back on it is the shortstop Yamazaki. He's calling everybody off. He's going to make the catch, and that's going to retire Kodama. That's not a good swing Got to put a better swing on better pitches. That's going to bring up the top of the order in the center fielder, Shinya Hasegawa. Well, for Hasegawa tonight, he began the ball game with a single. He was stranded at first. It's been the only hit of the ball game thus far for the Lions. He began the evening 3 for 12. Now he is 4 for 13. And the first pitch from Fujihara on the way as he squares the bunt, but he pulls back. He's going to take that for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Right-hander Fujihara ready to go again as he kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. If you guys are into slow motion swings, we do put the swings up on the daily. We try to choose different players all the time. We have some more Japanese players that are going to be coming up. It's always interesting to look at. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is now 1-2 to Hasegawa. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Right-hander Fujihara working to the set. As we said, he pitches from the stretch with nobody on. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count goes to 2-2. Coming up on the channel, we'll be doing all kinds of that stuff. Going to try to work ahead a little bit. But again, on August the 19th, we'll be on our route to Tokyo and then eventually to Osaka. So make sure you stay with us during that time. We're not going to call any games during that time, but we are going to do some live streams from Japan. We will keep you updated on some of the stuff and give you guys some grand tours. As there's a fastball that comes inside and it is fouled away by the batter Hasegawa. So that's going to keep the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Actually, what would be kind of cool would be actually to call a game at a game. Sit there and do the live stream from my phone. Keep everybody intact with all the excitement in the background. There's a breaking ball swung on it. It is grounded softly over to short. Fielded by Yamazaki. He throws to first, and they're going to nail the speedy Hasegawa. That goes as a ground out, 6-3 for the third out of the inning. That is going to do it here for the Lions. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are now moving to the top of the 4th inning. The score is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 2. The Seibu Lions, no score. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments with all the action. Appreciate you guys for being here with us tonight, spending your Friday evening or early Saturday morning with Last Rouse Baseball. We'll be right back.
Hello? Oh, hey. Yep. I'm just sitting here listening to Freddie call another game here on YouTube. Oh, yeah, going really good. He's calling a great game. Really exciting. Lots of stuff going on. You're lucky it's commercial break right now. I got a second. Oh, yeah, of course I'm having a cold one. Oh, yeah, I got plenty of videos coming up this week. You should stop in. Check them out. Leave a like, tell other people. But Freddie's coming back. I got to go catch the game. I will check in with you later. You have a good night, buddy. Bye.
Welcome back, everybody. We are moving now to the top of the 4th inning, and coming to bat for the Golden Eagles will be the 7, 8, and 9 hitters. That means it's going to be Daichi Suzuki, Hikaru Oda, and Haruki Nishikawa to face the right-hander Kona Takahashi. Takahashi, 64 pitches through his 3 innings of work. Has not been the most economical. It was that 36-pitch second inning that has skewed his numbers here. The first pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Last year, the Seibu Lions had one of the worst bullpens in the NPB. It seems like they have righted the ship this year, at least early on it did. There's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is lined over the head of the third baseman, Wu, into left field. That's going to be a base hit here for Suzuki. He's aboard for the second time tonight. That is going to bring up the catcher, Hikaru Oda. Well, for Oda, he is 0 for 1 tonight. He struck out his first time up. He bats here against the right-handed throwing Takahashi. I'm curious to see if they're going to try to bunt him over. If it were me, I think with Oda at the plate, it would be an automatic bunt. And then you're going to take your cracks to bring in another run home. And that's exactly what's going to happen. He's already squared the bunt. Takahashi steps off the back side of the rubber and feigns a throw to first base, but really didn't need to do that because we saw that the batter is already squared around. So Hikaru Oda batting here from the right side against the right-handed throwing Takahashi, who kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on it, is bunted right back to the pitcher. Takahashi fields it. They throw to first. That's going to go down as a sacrifice, 1-4, because it was Tonosaki covering. Advancing to second is Suzuki, and that's going to bring up the left fielder Haruki Nishikawa. Well, for Nishikawa tonight, he has one of the Golden Eagles hits, the 4 hits on the night. He's got one of them to his name. He singled his last time up. Eventually, he was stranded at third base. He's raised his season average to 200. He's now 8 for 40. He does have a homer and 3 RBIs as the left-handed hitting Golden Eagle left fielder steps in at the plate. As the right-hander now works to the set position. He checks the runner at second, and now he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Always got a good kick out of what we're able to do. We are going to be doing some vintage cuts when we're gone. We've already got some of that stuff up, but we haven't done anything yet with it. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count now goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Vintage cut swings, some retired players. We've got some of those that we'll be throwing up onto the channel. Some people of yesteryear, so to speak. It's 2 balls and no strikes here to the left-handed hitting Nishikawa. And he squares the bunt, and he gets it down, and it's a good one. Picking it up is Takahashi. He throws to first. Oh, boy. That's going to be interesting. I want to see that. They say that they've got him out. We're going to see what manager Ishii does. It looked like it was going to pull McKinnon off the bag. It's going to advance Suzuki for sure over to third. That was not one of those bunting, a sacrifice bunts. It was a push bunt for a base hit or an attempt. There was almost a collision there. I guess we're not going to get the replay on that one. But that's going to be a retire Nishikawa. That's going to go down as a ground out 1-3. And that'll leave it all up to the top of the order in Tsuyoshi Yamazaki. Well, Yamazaki tonight is 1 for 2. He's driven in 1 of the 2 runs. He's got a single in the 2 trips. The first pitch on the way is a fastball on the inside corner for a called strike. The count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Yamazaki. This is the kind of thing that Takahashi could use here. If he could get the third out here, it's going to be a really economical inning pitch count-wise as that fastball swung on and fouled away. And now the count goes to 0-2 on Yamazaki. BVP says he was checking out the slow-mo swings this week. Yeah, I try to grab a pile of different guys and run some stuff up there. It's kind of surprising as much to me as who gets looked at and who doesn't. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 0-2. We got some more Japanese swings. I did a couple of Buffalo swings. Kitaro Kobayashi and I think it was Ogino was the other one, or maybe it was, I think it was Ogino from the series against the Golden Eagles. Just got to get that cropped up and put into place. That might come off either tonight or tomorrow. As the 0-2 is on the way, there's a fastball that just misses inside, and the count now goes to 1-2. Steve Rademacher, who's a friend of the channel, he requested that we should have a hit batter up there as well. And so by his request, we may do that, or we'll look to do it, as the 1-2 pitch is ready to go here, as the right-hander holds to the set. And he kicks and fires. It's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count goes to 2-2 on Yamazaki. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Golden Eagles, as we said before, they are in dead last in the Pacific League. The Seibu Seibu Lions are in 4th place, slightly ahead of the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters. They're on the outs looking in. I'd say the biggest surprise for me in the Pacific League this year has been the Marines. Here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count remains at 2-2. The managerial change being one. Hechevarria, Martin, and Laird all out as the international hitters from last year. And then you think of some of the other stuff that's there. I don't know. I wasn't sure if they, with the addition of Gregory Polanco, how they were going to do. But yet they find themselves in 2nd place in the Pacific League right now, off to a very good start. Here's the 2-2. It's a fastball swung on. It's lifted foul over on the third base side. The count now remains at 2-2 to Yamazaki. I think that's pretty cool stuff. That's for sure, that they are flapping their wings like they are, the Marines. But the Golden Eagles are trying to figure this out. The Golden Eagles, you think about it, were a playoff team a couple of years ago and had competed against the Marines. There's a pitch, I think it was last year too. There's a fastball swung on, or 2 years ago. This ball is lifted to deep left center field, racing over to his into the gap and making the catch is Shohei Suzuki. He gets a round of applause from Takahashi, and that is going to do it here. That ball was driven into the oppo gap. He had to get on his horse, did Suzuki, and he makes a catch on the run, and that is going to do it here, as that is going to be the 3rd out of the inning. Well, no runs in the inning. There was a hit, the leadoff hit by Suzuki. No errors, and 1 runner left aboard. We are now moving to the bottom of the 4th inning. Your score is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 2 and the Seibu Seibu Lions nothing. We'll be back here in just a few minutes with all the action. Here is our friend of the channel, Matt Hollis. Be sure to check him out after the game.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. We are now cruising here to the bottom of the 4th inning. It's going to be Ninting Wu, Shuta Tonosaki, and Takiya Nakamura to come to bat, as they will be facing the starter Fujihira here for their half of the 4th inning. The best thing for the Lions is going to have to be to get into the bullpen of the Golden Eagles. It's been absolutely bunk so far this year. We are going to see that is their best chance, I think. Fujihira hangs around here long enough. It's going to pose a problem for the Lions. They got to be able to find a way to knock him out. He's been economical, only 40 pitches thus far. As there's a fastball that misses upstairs for a ball, and the count is 1-0 to Ninting Wu. Wu 0 for 1 tonight. He struck out his only time up. As the right-hander works to the set position, and now he kicks, and he delivers. It's a slow breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count is now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Right-hander against the left-hander, as the righty Fujihira ready to deliver again, as he gets the sign from his catcher, Oda, and he delivers. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count now goes to 2-1 to Wu. So 2 balls and 1 strike. As we said before, after this one here tonight, we're not going to do another ball game until tomorrow night. Sometimes, and tomorrow we won't be doing a doubleheader either. Sometimes last year we were doing the double dips. There's a fastball swung on and lifted foul down the left field line, and the count goes to 2-2 on Wu. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Looked like Wu was just a little bit late there on that pitch, and as well, he wasn't able to control his barrel. Here comes the 2-2 offering as the right-hander works out of that set position. And now the pitch is on its way as he delivers a breaking ball that misses down and in. They appeal over to the third base umpire, but they say that Wu didn't go. That's going to run the count to 3-2 now. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Wu. Wu had some good moments in the World Baseball Classic, playing for the Taiwanese. And he's kind of off to a bit of a slow start here. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep left center field. Moving back on it is the left fielder Nishikawa, but he's got room and space, and that is going to retire Wu for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away, and that'll bring up the second baseman in Shuta Tonosaki. Well, for Tonosaki, he's hitting .295. He's got 6 homers and 14 runs batted in. As he strides to the plate here. He's off to a nice start this season. And one would have to say that he's on pace easily to be a 2020 man with the stolen bases and the home runs. I'm kind of curious. One thing for our listeners to do some research. Has there been, or when's the last 30-30 man been in the NPB? There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 0-1 to Tonosaki. They certainly have some players who can hit the home runs. They certainly have some players who can steal bases, but can they do both at the same time? So Tonosaki right now with those 6 homers and 7 stolen bases, and he's got that 20-20 chance for sure. He's got to keep up the home run pace. I think the stolen base pace will be the easy of the two. As a fastball misses down, and the count now is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Bottom of the 4th inning here. It's 2-0 for the Eagles over the Lions as the pitch is delivered, and it's a fastball that comes in and almost hits Tonosaki. That moves him off the plate. Runs the count now to 2 balls and 1 strike. Tonosaki waggling the bat, gets himself set back in there as he's ready to go again. As the pitch is on the way, it's a fastball that's check swing and foul tipped into the catcher's mitt, says the home plate umpire, and that's going to run the count to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Crowd is in good voice. Not a, as we said, not a big crowd here in this one. As the right hitter Fujihara delivers again, there's a breaking ball swung on, and it's fouled straight back, and that's going to keep the count at 2-2 on Tonosaki. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. So right-hander against the right-hander. Fujihara ready to deliver again as he holds to the belt. And now he kicks and delivers. It is a breaking ball that bounces up to the plate. And now the count runs full on Tonosaki. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Fujihara pretty economical in his first 3 innings of work, only 40 pitches. But he's had to work a little harder here to the first 2 batters in the 4th inning. So 3 balls and 2 strikes as the right-hander works to the set. Now he kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep left field. Moving back is Nishikawa. He's on the warning track. He's looking up. He leaps, and it's off the wall. Nice play by Okajima to back him up as he fields it off the wall, but that's going to be a double for Tonosaki. And the Lions fans have come to life here in the 4th inning. They've got themselves a 1-out double. That's the second hit of the ball game for the Lions. That's going to bring up the designated hitter in Takeya Nakamura. He just missed sending that one out. We're going to look at the replay there, and it looked like it got about 3/4 of the way up the fence. It was just a little bit more loft. That ball would have been gone. They would have cut into the Lions' lead, but it is a 2-0 scoreline. So Nakamura batting here is Tonosaki is at second. Nakamura 0 for 1 tonight. He's got 8 homers and 16 runs batted in. He is in scoring position when he steps into the batter's box, the big fella. As the right-hander holds set, he checks the runner at second base, and now he delivers. There's a fastball that comes inside and almost hits Nakamura. It's going to be ball 1. So 1 ball, no strikes. Our friend CV Baseball Card Collector in here. Our friend Alexander Leggett said he went to get some hot strawberry milk. Hasn't really missed anything. Hot strawberry milk would probably put me to sleep. Either that or the game between the Fighters and the Marines. Here's the pitch. It is a fastball taken for a called strike. And the count goes even to 1-1 on Nakamura. So 1 ball and 1 strike to the big fella. He bats here with 1 gone and a runner on second, with the Lions trailing 2-0. The bottom of the 4th inning. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is. And here comes the offering from Fujihira. As he checks the runner at second, and now he delivers. It is a fastball that misses down, and the count goes to 2-1. They might as well just hold up the 4 fingers here and put them on, although you've got the dangerous David McKinnon at the plate. If they did that, even though it sets up the force, McKinnon has the ability to deposit one into the seats. I think, truthfully speaking, I think I'd rather attack Nakamura. If Nakamura, you can get him out, maybe you walk McKinnon to set up the force because it'll bring Ito to the plate. Pick your poison here, as the Lions do have some pretty good bats in the batting order. And to think about it, they're missing Mark Payton tonight. They know Suzuki Genda. Here comes the 2-1. It's a fastball that misses down. A good stop there by the catcher Oda. Runs the count now to 3 balls and 1 strike. Our friend CV Baseball Card Collector says David M. Yeah, David McKinnon, former Oakland A's prospect, and I know CV is a baseball card collector. I believe he was a rookie last year with the Athletics. So 3 balls and 1 strike here to Nakamura. I don't know a whole lot about McKinnon, to be honest, other than the fact that he was a rookie in the 2022 season, or at least his rookie card was produced there. There's a fastball that misses down. That's going to be ball 4 to Nakamura. He's going to be aboard with a walk. And that is going to bring up the first baseman, as we've been talking about, David McKinnon. So that walk there is going to be the second free pass issued here tonight by the starter Fujihira. And he is working on his pace of 1 every other inning. So McKinnon, just for your knowledge, he went to the University of Hartford. He had played with the Angels and the Athletics. 28 years old. He is born in December, his 29th birthday after the season. Tonight he has walked his first time up. He's got 6 homers and 17 RBIs on the season. As the right-hander holds set, now he delivers a breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Crowd is in good form tonight, that is for sure. They are cheering on their home team here. 1 ball and no strikes to McKinnon. As he waggles the bat, waiting here on the offering from Fujihira. 2-0, the Eagles have the lead. They check the runner at second. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball that misses down and away, and the count now goes to 2-0. And now the catcher, Oda, has called for time, and he's going to go out and have a word with his pitcher. 2 balls and no strikes. Our friend Alexander Leggett says, "Attaboy, do it for America." Yeah, well, McKinnon would be the type of player that two things. He could either carve out a niche and continue to stay there and earn a contract, maybe come back to North America and try to get himself a job regular. Curious to see how that will play out for him. So here comes the 2-0 offering as the right-hander kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is now 3-0. And this is what we had said at the outset. The early alarm bells need to be going off here at the control of the right-hander. It's going to kill the Eagles and their pitching staff. You have to wonder how long they're going to ride Fujihira. He hasn't had a start less than 5 innings this year. He worked 5+ in his last outing, but he has been north of 6 innings in the other 2. So 3 balls and no strikes. The right-hander holds to the set position. And now he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball taken at the knees for a called strike. And the count is 3-1. Just some more information on McKinnon. He was a 32nd round by the Angels in the 2017 draft out of the University of Hartford, as we had mentioned earlier. Massachusetts native. Played his full 4 years at Hartford. Then he broke in with the Angels organization. They ended up with the Oakland Athletics. Here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball that misses down. That's going to be ball 4. It's going to be back-to-back walks. That's going to load the bases. McKinnon's second walk of the evening. It's going to bring Ito to the plate. That's going to bring the pitching coach of the Golden Eagles out of the dugout and have a word here with the right-hander. Just to finish off a little bit on McKinnon, he had made his major league debut 2022 with the Angels, and then he went over to the Athletics. He had played in 22 ball games at the big league level, and he was 7 for 50 with no homers and 6 RBIs. But that is one of those things where maybe he is able to resurrect his career, so to speak, over in Japan, give him something to bounce back to, or maybe even just play in Japan and stay there and make a pretty good living doing it. You think of a guy like Eric Thames who went over to the KBO a few years ago. And then, of course, you look at other players who've had bounce-back type careers, and they've done it in different places. So that's load the bases here with 1 gone. It's going to bring Ito to the plate. Ito flew out to deep left field his first time up. He just missed a home run as that ball went to the edge of the warning track. Just got a little bit underneath it. He is batting .269 on the season with those 3 homers and 6 RBIs. He does have some ability in the bat to be able to run into one. So here comes the first offering from Fujihira, who kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is belted foul. Oh, boy, that thing was way up there. In fact, if you're familiar with the stadium, it's a dome stadium, but on the concourse at the upper level, it almost like it is a free-flowing where the air can flow freely through. And it looked like that one got out of here as it ended up going out of the stadium. So no balls and 1 strike to Ito. As the right-hander Fujihira, who is in a bit of a jam here, kicks and delivers. A breaking ball swung on and fouled away. Oh, Ito a little too excited. That pitch was destined to be a ball. He went after that one, and that's going to run the count to 0-2. So he is helping the Tohoku starting pitcher here. So no balls and 2 strikes. So Ito now digs himself back in, and he's ready here. So let's see what's going to happen here. And here comes the pitch. It is a fastball that misses down, and the count now goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. Our friend Alexander Leggett says in the chat that Ito is solid. He has played very good baseball this year for the Seibu Seibu Lions. One of the highlights, I believe, in his game, in my opinion, is his defensive ability. I really like the way that he plays the outfield. He's got a plus arm. He's fundamentally sound the way that he reads balls. He does a great job. So 1 ball and 2 strikes as the pitch is on the way. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded softly over to first. They're coming home with it. The throw to the plate is in time. It's going to nail the runner, Tonosaki. Oh boy, if you're going to waste the challenge, as they did earlier in this one, I'm wasting it right now because I think that they might have got in there in time. We're going to have to get a look on the replay on this one here. Here comes the look for us. So it was a ground ball over to first on a breaking ball. Suzuki fielded it. He threw to the plate. Oh boy, that one there, I don't know. Up went the right hand. They made a challenge earlier, did the Lions. The Lions lost the challenge. If you're going to make a challenge, that would have been the one to do it on. We're going to see if they're going to challenge this one here. But by the looks of it, they're not. Otherwise, they would lose the challenge. It's going to be a fielder's choice. As that erases Tonosaki at the plate. 3-2 for the second out of the inning. It advances Nakamura to third. McKinnon goes to second, and Ito reached safely on that fielder's choice. And that's going to bring up the left fielder, Shohei Suzuki. As the first offering is on the way, and it's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. Count is 0-1. Alexander Leggett said it seemed clear to him. As far as I'm concerned, I probably would have made the challenge on that one. That one was way more challengeable than the first one. First one on the stolen base was really a non-entity in the situation, and the runner was retired as such, or was safe not as such. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted into deep right center field. On his horse is the center field Okajima. It's over his head. It's off the wall. 1 run is in. 2 runs are in. And digging for third with a triple is Suzuki. He's going to knock in 3 runs, and that's going to put the Lions in the lead 3-2. A 3-run triple here by Shohei Suzuki has flipped the scoreline now to a 3-2 lead for the Lions as we are here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Oh boy, that there brings home Nakamura, McKinnon, and Ito with 1 swing of the bat. And the Lions are finding themselves out in front. There is action in the Eagles bullpen, but that might all be a little all for naught now. As 3 runs have crossed the plate, and they're still not out of this yet, as it's going to bring Yuta Koga to the plate with a runner on third and 2 gone. Our friend Alexander Leggett says he lost his pick, though. Congrats to the living room. Well, 3-2 is the scoreline now in this one. I think a friend earlier in here, Rick, was wanting to know about the 7.5. That 7.5 may fall fairly quickly in this one, too. So Yuta Koga to the plate as the Lions now have a 3-2 lead here in the bottom of the 4th. And the first pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So much for making the challenge on the call before. We'll just clear the bases with 1 stroke of the bat. So Koga looking to keep the conga line moving as pitch number 71 is on the way. As the right-hander delivers, it's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count is now 0-2. "31 pitches now in the inning for the starter Fujihira, as he is experiencing his rough inning here as the starter Tonosaki, or Takahashi, I should say, in the 2nd inning for the Lions. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a fastball that misses down, and the count now goes to 1-2. The difference is Takahashi was able to survive that inning. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Victoria jumps in and says, who you think winning the 4th inning? Well, the 4th inning has already been won by the Lions. There's a fastball swung on and missed. That's going to retire Koga for the 3rd out of the inning, and that is going to do it here. But the damage has been done. Lots of runs in the inning. A 3-run triple by Shohei Suzuki has put the Lions out in front. They've got 3 runs in the inning on the benefit of only 2 hits. There was no errors, and there was 1 runner left aboard. Your score after 4, it is the Lions 3 and the Eagles 2. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call in just a couple moments. Appreciate everybody for bouncing in here with us tonight. We'll be right back after this from our friend, Steve Rademacher.
Thank you, Freddie. Appreciate your support and everybody out there. Steve again here, obviously, with the Milwaukee Brewers. Of course, we have Bernie Brewer on my favorite beverage of choice right there, along with a card of Bernie. Yay! Now, we got some special guests here. I'm not just talking about our Hall of Fame lineup. I must be in the front row. Hey, come on there, Robin. I got 3,000 hits. What do you have? Well, I was the all-time saves leader, and I got 1.5 feet on you. Okay, Raleigh, settle down, buddy. Now, none of this could be possible without Harvey's Wallbangers. There's Harvey. And who could forget the Fonz? Hey.
Appreciate you, Steve, and the support you give to our channel, and in turn, we support Steve Rademacher. Be sure after the game to go check him out. He's got all kinds of wild and crazy things. We are now turning to the top of the 5th inning, and it is now a 3-2 scoreline for the Lions over the Golden Eagles. It was a 3-run triple by Shohei Suzuki that has turned the tables in this one. That is where we stand right now, 3-2. Lions here in the top of the 5th inning. And that is going to bring to the plate here for the Golden Eagles the 2, 3, and 4 hitters. It's going to be Yoshiaki Watanabe, Kia Ito, and Hideto Asamura. So 2, 3, and 4. So, when the questions come out of who you think is going to win the game, initially I felt that the Lions were the ones, obviously, with their starting pitcher. But now as the game is going to be going more to the bullpens, I still point toward the Lions. There's a breaking ball that is taken for a called strike. As we said, the Eagles' bullpen has been used and abused this year. They have been in tough. So no balls and 1 strike from the right-hander Takahashi, who kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on, tapped slowly to second. Tonosaki fields it on the run. He throws to first, and that's going to retire Watanabe on a ground out, 4-3. The first out of the inning, and that'll bring up the third baseman, Yukiya Ito. And who knows, maybe Takahashi is going to settle right down and be able to do the work here the rest of the way. So Ito is stepping to the plate. He's 1 for 2 tonight. He's got a single and 2 trips. As the right-hander Takahashi ready to go again. Our friend the living room says, bring on the monkey predictions. There you go. Here comes the pitch. It is a breaking ball that's taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Be like people placing bets on the World Hockey Championships. Here's the 0-1. It's a fastball swung on. It is grounded over to short. Fielded by Kadama. He throws to first. And that is going to retire Ito on a ground out, 6-3. So 2 up and 2 away here. 2 quick outs for Takahashi in this half of the 5th inning. That's going to leave it all up to the designated hitter, Hideto Asamura. Well, for Asamura tonight, he's officially 0 for 1. He has struck out and he has walked in his 2 trips to the plate. Batting .208 on the season. As the right-hander delivers, it's a fastball that misses upstairs for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. 1 ball and no strikes. That's the other thing, too. It looks like that Takahashi has been throwing more fastballs at this part of the ball game. It looked like it was the breaking stuff early on. There's a fastball that he blows right by Asamura, and the count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Hideto Asamura. As the right-hander Takahashi holds and he delivers, it's a fastball swung on. This was looped softly into center field, and it's going to bleed down for a base hit. That's going to be a single here for Asamura. As he is aboard here, that's going to bring up the center fielder, Takira Okajima. He caught it not down on the fist, but he caught it a little lower on the barrel, and he was able to just bloop it into center field. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Takira Okajima striding to the plate. He is 0 for 1 in this one. There's also been a walk here. So he walked and was retired on a fielder's choice, and he was caught stealing his last time as he lifts the fastball down the left field line, moving back onto the warning track. As the left fielder, Suzuki, he's going to make the grab, and that is going to do it. Boy, I didn't think Okajima got a lot of that one, but boy, did the ball really carry. He's going to be gone for the third out, and that will do it here for the Eagles in their half of the fifth. They go quietly, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. We are now moving to the bottom of the fifth inning. Your score is the Seibu Seibu Lions 3 and the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 2. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments. Appreciate you all for listening in here. We'll be back here in just a few.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Appreciate you there, Matt, and your support of the channel. And in return, we support Matt Hollis. Be sure after the ball game to go check him out for all of your break needs, San Diego style. Well, we are moving to the bottom of the fifth inning, and it is going to be the 9, 1, and 2 hitters to come to bat here for the Lions, as they had taken the lead on a 3-run triple in the bottom of the fourth inning by Shohei Suzuki. That has got their fans excited here in the stands. It is going to be the shortstop Kadama, and then the top of the order Hasegawa and Wu here to face the pitcher Fujihira, who is coming back out for his fifth inning of work. He got roughed up in that last inning. He threw 33 pitches. He's at 73 through 4. As the first pitch is a breaking ball that misses outside for ball one, and the count is 1-0. I would think that they would hope to try to get one more inning out of him here, or they may have to go to the bullpen, as the 1-0 is on the way, and that's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Kadama. Kadama popped to the shortstop his first time up, as he bats here with a 1-1 count, and he squares the bunt, but he pulls that back, as that's going to be missing down in the way, and the count is now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. We're ready to get going here again. 2 balls and 1 strike it is, as the right-hander holds to the set position and now delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. The count now goes to 2-2, so 2 balls and 2 strikes. Fujihira working to the set position. He checks the runner over at second. Now he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on and missed. Kadama goes down on strikes for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away. And that's going to bring up the top of the order in Shinya Hasegawa. As far as the strikeouts are concerned tonight, that's the 5th in the books here for Fujihira. He's going to face Hasegawa here for the top of the order. Hasegawa 1 for 2. He's got a single and 2 trips. He's also grounded to short. Our friend Breathe Deep is checked in tonight. We appreciate you for being here. There's a fastball swung on it. His pop foul over on the first base side. And Suzuki racing over, thought he might have room, but nope, that's going to maybe hit one of the cables, and that's going to get down for a strike here, or either that or it hit the net. Quite a bit of netting on the first base line. So no balls and 1 strike to Hasegawa. Breathe Deep is missing all the action. The Living Room Sports has been making the picks on his channel every night. And on top of it, you get even Alexander Leggett to join in there with him. He's been making his calls. Here comes the 0-1 offering as the pitch is a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count now goes to 0-2 to Hasegawa. So no balls and 2 strikes. As the right-hander works to the set position. As now he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-2. Breathe Deep asked the question, you think the Dragons versus Swallows goes over or under the 7.5? I have to be honest with you. I have to go back and take a look at who the starters are in that game. As the 1-2 pitch is on the way, there's a fastball swung on. It is grounded softly to third. Fielded on the run by Ito. He throws. It's going to be offline. Suzuki had to come off the bag. He tried to apply the tag to Hasegawa. Hasegawa was able to slide underneath it. And he is going to be ruled safe at first base. They're going to have to see how they're going to rule that, if that's going to be an infield hit or if it's going to be an error. It was a tough play for the third baseman, Ito. He had to come and get that one on the run. As he threw it on the run, he threw it offline. I think that's going to go as an error. I think that play had to be made. I'll be curious to see how the home scorer for the Lions is going to rule that one. But as far as I'm concerned, I would be ruling that E5. We'll have to wait to see what the official scorer has to say. We go back and we'll try to answer that question for our friend Breathe Deep. The starters in that game are McCatchy versus Peters. I don't know if I would probably be leaning the under in that one. But that's just me. So here comes the first offering here to Ning-Ting Wu as he bats with 1 out and a runner at first. The Lions are looking to add to their lead, and Fujihira throws over to first, and diving back in time is the runner Hasegawa. The Lions have a 3-2 lead here, as all of their runs came in the bottom of the 4th inning, as the Eagles had originally had the 2-0 lead. All their runs came in the top of the 2nd. And here comes the pitch, but nope, they throw over to first base, and diving back in time is the base runner Hasegawa. Our friend Randy Dang says, who do you think wins this game? Well, we were talking about this before. We got the Lions, or I have the Lions in my mind, the better pitching for sure. That's my guess. I don't think much of the Eagles' bullpen. Here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on, is grounded through the 6 hole. And rounding second and heading to third is the base runner Hasegawa. Nice piece of hitting there by Ning-Ting Wu. They had the hit and run on. So as the batter was in motion, the shortstop was moving towards second base to cover, and Wu punched it right through the 6 hole where the shortstop had evacuated. And that's going to put runners at first and third here with 1 out. And that'll bring up the second baseman, the dangerous hitting Shuta Tonosaki. So as we look at that again, it was a good piece of hitting there by Wu. You got to tip your hat off. The shortstop Yamazaki was racing over to cover the bag. Ended up punching it right through his evacuated position, and that goes first to third. That's where we're at now. That's going to bring to the plate Tonosaki, who is 1 for 2 in this one here tonight. Tonosaki had a double his last time up. He was erased on a fielder's choice at the plate as he was gunned down by the first baseman Daichi Suzuki. So Tonosaki 1 for 2 on the evening. He's raised his batting average up to 298. He's got those 6 homers and 14 RBIs. He's going to be hunting here, trying to add another run to the tally here for the Lions. As he works to the set and now delivers, there's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. So the runner at first is Wu. The runner at third is Hasegawa. And by the way, just for your notes, if you're keeping score at home along with us, it was an E5. It was charged to Ito that allowed Hasegawa to reach base. One gone here in the 5th inning as the Lions are batting in their bottom half. So here comes the 1-0 offering as the right-hander holds to the set. And now kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on and grounded foul over on the third base side. And the count now goes even to 1-1. Alexander Leggett said that Peters was middle in the MLB, came here and he's been decent. If I'm not mistaken, Peters was one of the Mets that had come across. Or I think 3 or 4 Mets that are now in the NPB, if you include Gazelman. And then I forget the other one. I want to say it was Lopez or one of the other pitchers with the, I believe, the Murray Giants. There's a fastball swung on it. It's lifted into straightaway center field. Moving underneath it is Nakajima, tagging at third and heading home. And they're not going to have a chance to be able to get the runner, Hasegawa. It's going to go as a sacrifice fly to 8. Nice piece of hitting there by Tonosaki. He picks himself up an RBI. Hasegawa scores. That's going to increase the score line to 4-2. And that is going to leave it all up to the designated hitter, Takeya Nakamura. So a round of applause there. Good piece of hitting there by Tonosaki to get the job done. And Nakamura strides to the plate. So 4-2 now lead for the Lions as they are batting here in the bottom of the 5th. Just as a slight reminder, we are going to take a timeout as they do have that extended break between the 5th and the 6th innings. We need to go and refresh our iced tea tonight. That is our beverage of choice. So Nakamura stepping up to bat. Here he is 0 for 1 tonight. He struck out his first time up and he walked his last time. He also came around to score the first run for the Lions. There's a fastball swung on, its grounded foul over on the third base line, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. And it would be of the powder mix variety tonight, which is the Nestea flavor. So no balls and 1 strike here to Nakamura as he bats here with the runner at first, Wu, and 2 gone in the bottom of the 5th. And here's the pitch from Fujihira. It's a fastball that, oh boy, I'm not sure where that pitch. It looked like it was right down the middle. If you're not going to get that call, I don't know what call you're going to get. That pitch looked like it sawed the plate in half. I know that Oda sort of stood up. I wonder if he said something to the home plate umpire. He didn't look back directly at him. Probably said, where the heck was that pitch? Pitch looked great. Nakamura probably was shaking his head too. There's a fastball that swung on and it's lifted foul. It's going to run the count to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is here to Nakamura. Keep making calls like that to Nakamura. He'll win another Player of the Month. You just have to show up and get to pick the pitches that you get to swing at, and everything else is a ball. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is here to the big fella. As we set off to a great start with the 8 homers and 16 RBIs, drinking from the fountain of youth. Here comes the 1-2 as the right-hander holds to the set and now delivers. It's a fastball that misses down, and the count goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Don't forget to bookmark the channel, and we'll be back on again tomorrow. Same time, same 2 teams. Hopefully you guys can make it in here with us. We're excited to give you the NPB. And of course, this is the site of a Seibu Lions. Here's the 2-2 pitch as the right-hander holds set, and now he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count is now 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Takeya Nakamura. My friend Alexander Leggett says he's got to hit the hay. The milk was a mistake. Problem is with Alexander Leggett, every time he leaves, that's when the game gets good. So unfortunately, Alexander, you're going to miss a great finish to this one. But we can understand that. So 3 balls and 2 strikes it is as the right-hander holds to the set. Now he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses down. It's going to be ball 4. Nakamura is going to get himself a walk. That's going to advance Wu over to second. And that is going to bring up the first baseman, David McKinnon, with 2 out here. And as I said before, the Achilles heel for this pitcher, Fujihira, has been his number of walks that he has issued this far. And no, it wasn't just in this game, it was coming into this game. And so far tonight, with that free pass to Nakamura, that's his 4th walk in 4+ innings of work. You can't, at this level of play, you can't get beat by the walks. So McKinnon here waiting on the offering from the right-hander Fujihira, who kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. Throwing strikes is a definite problem here for this right-hander. And if the alarm bells aren't going off right now, they should be. I think they want to try to squeeze this inning out of him. I'd be shocked if they actually brought him out for the 6th. Do have a right-hander up. It looks like it's Raku in the bullpen. Another pitcher who really did well last year, who's having an abysmal season this year. As the right-hander holds to the set, Fujihira holds, checks the runner, and now delivers. It's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count goes even to 1-1 on McKinnon. McKinnon has 2 walks in his 2 trips to the plate tonight. I'm sure he's probably ready to jump out of his socks to take a swing at something here. 1 ball and 1 strike it is. He has seen 10 pitches in his first 2 at-bats, 5 per at-bat. Here comes the 1-1. And the pitch is on the way. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into right center field. Giving chase is the right fielder. This ball is going to get down. It's off the wall. Shimauchi picks it up. Rounding, coming in to score is the first run. Digging for third is McKinnon. And all the way from first is the big fella Nakamura. He's going to score. It's going to increase the lead to 6-2 for the Lions. Another triple that brings in a pair this time. And one would have to think that this has got to almost be the end of the rope here for the starter Fujihira, who is getting roughed up now. And there is the manager Ishii as he is making his way to the umpire, probably 1 pitch too late. And that is where we stand here. 3 runs in the board on the inning. It's going to bring up Ito, but that is the end of the night for the right-hander Fujihira. And we'll be back here in 30 seconds, everybody, after this. The score now is 6-2 for the Lions. Hang tight. We'll be right back.
Hey, guys. While the manager's searching for a relief pitcher, let me help you with some relief channels. On top of mine and Freddy's, you can always check out Redbeard Breaks, Zero Fox Sports. You know another Hollis build? Check them out again. Maybe Beast and Beauty Breaks, or even Dab's Family. Oh, looks like they have their pitcher, so after the game, check out some other videos by Freddy. They're fun, they're cool. Enjoy the game, peace out, and cheers!
Welcome back, everybody. We'll be back in 30 with all the action. It is now a 6-2 lead for the Lions in the bottom of the 5th inning. Welcome back, everybody. It's going to be Tomohiro and Raku to come in as he is going to take over here in the 5th inning for the starter Fujihira. It's not been a great year for the right-hander and Raku. He's going to be making his 14th appearance. Got no wins and no losses. He's got 13 1/3 innings pitched. He's allowed 13 hits, walked 3, and struck out 7, and he's got a ERA of 3.38. He has pitched better a little bit lately. So he's going to be asked here to be able to hold it in. So that is where we stand here. So it's going to be Ito to welcome him to the game with the runner McKinnon at third and 2 gone. As McKinnon is stretching out his quads while he's down there at third base. Ito batting .267. He is officially 0 for 2 tonight. He bounced into a fielder's choice his last time up, but he came around to score one of the runs in the 4th inning. As in Raku kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0. 1 ball and no strikes it is to the right-handed hitting Ito. Bottom of the 5th inning, the Lions have a 6-2 lead. As the right-hander delivers, there's a fastball swung on it. Is popped up over on the left side of the infield. Moving over underneath it is the shortstop Yamazaki. He's going to make the catch. And that is going to do it here, as that will retire Ito for the 3rd out of the inning. But not before more damage has been done. The Lions scored 3 in the inning. But the big blow was a 2-run triple by David McKinnon that has increased the lead to 6-2. So 3 runs in the inning on the benefit of only 2 hits. There was 1 error and there was 1 runner left aboard. We are now through 5 complete. Your score is the Seibu Lions 6, the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 2. Our friend Troll Zaddy in the house. BVP says the Bay Stars are driving him crazy, but a great game. But we're going to be back here in just a few, as we do have what we like to call our Japanese halftime. We'll be back in a few after this. We got to get ourselves some more iced tea. Welcome back, everybody. It has definitely been a change in this one here. We thought that it was going to be Takahashi early on that was looking to punch his exit out of this game with 36 pitches in the 2nd inning. And he was able to hold it together, bounce back, and the next thing you know, it was the Lions scoring some runs and knocking out the starting pitcher for the Golden Eagles. 6-2 is the scoreline, and that is where we stand here right now. What is going on here behind the plate? Home plate umpire, there's something going on here. It's been really strange. I don't know if he's got something in his eye, or whatever it is. I don't know if he's got the trainer coming out to look at him. Oh, it looks like something had ended up in his eye. I'm not sure exactly what it was. Looks like he's now ready to go. It was kind of strange because they looked like they were ready to go, and then the next thing it was Koga, the catcher, stood up, and Shimouchi, and everybody was all concerned here. Well, it's going to be Shimouchi, Suzuki, and Oda here to face Takahashi. And the first pitch is a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. Shimouchi, 0 for 2 in this one. He bounced into a fielder's choice, and he had flown out to center field as he swings and misses at a breaking ball, and the count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Shimouchi, Suzuki, and Oda here in the 6th inning. As the pitch is on the way, it's a fastball swung on. It is grounded to short, fielded by the shortstop Kadama, who throws first. And Shimouchi is retired on a ground out 6-3 for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away, and that's going to bring up the first baseman, Daichi Suzuki. Well, for Suzuki in this one, he is officially 1 for 1 tonight. He's got a single. He's also been hit by a pitch and scored a run. Seems like it was almost yesterday that happened in the 2nd inning. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Suzuki. Suzuki raised his average up to 278 with that base hit back in the 4th inning. As the pitch is on the way, it is a fastball that misses down and away, and the count goes to 1-1. A lot of arm side run there from the right-hander Takahashi. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is as the right-hander kicks and delivers. There's a fastball taken for a called strike on the inside corner, and the count now goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. After this game is done, we will get everybody all caught up around the league after the game is finished. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed. A good block by Koga, who throws to first, and that is going to retire the batter Suzuki on a strikeout 2-3 for the 2nd out of the inning, and that's going to leave it all up to Hikaru Oda. As we mentioned, what we normally do is we do the recap rundown of this one, and we'll give you all the scores. We're still a ways from that, but prepare yourself for that once this game is over. Well, that's going to leave it all up to Oda here. That's with 2 gone in the top of the 6th inning. But until then, we'll get you updated on the scoring from around the NPB. As we said, there's 3 other games going on. In the Central League, it's a 2-1 giant lead over the Carp. That game's in the bottom of the 7th. As the first pitch breaking ball misses outside, the count is 1-0. The Tigers are beating up on the Bay Stars 5-1 in the bottom of the 6th. Our friend BVP probably not very happy about that. They jumped out to a 1-0 lead. As that breaking ball catches the outside corner for a called strike, and the count is now 1-1. The Fighters are laying it to the Marines 5-0. That's in the top of the 7th inning, as that is a breaking ball swung on and missed. The count now goes to 1-2 on Oda. And of course, the scoreline here at the Balluna Dome in the top of the 6th inning, a 6-2 Lions lead. So much for that 7.5 on the over-under. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is grounded softly foul over by the third base coach's box. The count remains at 1-2. So now you have to look at the live-in stuff. Our friend Troll says, doubleheader, not tonight, big fella. We're going to be packing it in after this one. Long day in the next couple of days for us, but we are going to do some midweek stuff. Look to us at 2 a.m. Pacific time to be calling some action. There's a pitch that misses outside. The count goes to 2-2. If Bauer is throwing on Tuesday, we'll do that one for sure. We'll keep our eye on the schedule. But we'll also look to call some other midweek stuff. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted down the left field line, but it's going to slice foul into the netting just near the bullpen. I have to say, I do like the fact that the bullpens are they're not on the field, but they're certainly in the surface. Some of the bullpens, they're underneath. Our friend Living Room says the Fighters have the most ridiculous uniforms. They should lose by 100. Those uniforms are to try to distract you from their poor play. There's a breaking ball that comes inside, And it looks like it is hit the batter. They're going to want to see, they want to take a look to see if he swung at it. But it looks like, yeah, it's going to put him on. It's, by the way, that was a pinch hitter for Oda. It was Yasuda who came in to pinch hit. But they're going to rule that he is going to get himself a hit by pitch. It looked like he tried to swing, but it also caught him on the back side of the left leg on the quad. So he is going to be aboard with a 2-out hit by pitch. That's going to bring up the left fielder, Haruki Nishikawa. So Yasuda aboard, Nishikawa to the plate. And the first pitch is a fastball that misses up and away for ball one. The count is 1-0. So yeah, is Yuma Yasuda, who has entered the ball game for Oda. Interesting that they've made that move. There's a breaking ball that misses up and away, and the count is now 2-0, unless, of course, they felt that the starter was better suited to be throwing to Oda. So 2 balls and no strikes as Takahashi gets his sign from his catcher Koga, and he works set. Now delivers. There's a fastball swung on it. It is grounded over to second. Tonosaki fields it, and he flips it over to the shortstop covering. That's going to go down as a fielder's choice, 4-6, to erase Yasuda at second for the third out. And that is going to do it here for the Eagles in their half of the inning. Well, there was no runs in the inning. There were no hits, no errors. There was a runner left aboard. We're now moving to the bottom of the 6th inning, and by the looks of it, manager Ishii is back out. Make yet another pitching change. We'll be back here in just a few minutes. We appreciate everybody for popping in here tonight. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back. Our friend Troll Azadi says that the Hiroshima red on red is cool. It might be cool, but it's absolutely horrendous to be able to pick up the jersey numbers when you're calling one of the games. That's the one complaint I have about that. We'll be back in just a few, everybody. Appreciate you guys for being here. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Sho Suzuki on the mound as he is going to be taking over here for Enraku, who only came on in relief to throw a third of an inning. So Suzuki coming in, he's worked in 15 ball games. He's got 1 win and no losses. He's worked 12 innings. He's allowed 9 hits. He has walked 9, which is scary. And struck out 13. He's got an ERA of 5.25. He has given up 7 runs, all of which have been earned. He's going to be entrusted to face Shohei Suzuki, Yuta Koga, and Ryosuke Kadama. That is where we stand here. So Sho Suzuki on in relief, the lefty. It'll be the first time that the Golden Eagles are going to a lefty. We've seen him pitch in the last week or so. And like his other teammates, he has had his struggles. But Suzuki coming to the plate. And it was Suzuki, his 2-out triple that opened up the scoring for the Lions. It was a 2-out, 3-run triple back in the 4th inning to put them out in front 3-2 at the time. They now have a 6-2 lead. So Suzuki batting .231 on the season. And he's got himself no homers and 6 runs batted in now as the lefty ready to face Suzuki. And there's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. So it's the battle of the Suzukis, Shohei versus Sho. Very interesting. I wonder how often that would happen. Here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball that just misses upstairs, and the count goes even to 1-1 on Shohei Suzuki. Our friend Walking Spotted Bear said, any suggestions on why I can watch the game for free, y'all? So there's a breaking ball that misses upstairs. The count is 2-1. First of all, Walking Spotted Bear, you're going to have to scroll up the chat. That's what you're going to want to do because there's some of those questions have already been answered in here. And there are some directions from our friend Alexander Leggett had delivered some of those earlier in the stream. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. There's a breaking ball that is swung on. It is lined down the first base line. It's into the corner. And that is going to be extra bases, rounding first and heading for 2. And that is where it is going to be a stand-up double for Suzuki here. So he's got the what I would consider more harder parts of the cycle, the double and the triple in the books, and that is going to bring up the catcher, Yuta Koga. So a few other pieces to that. We've got Troll Zaddy says, suggesting any way to do a ticker of all the games on the bottom. We could possibly do that, Troll. It's just takes a little bit more time. It takes our eyes off of the current game. But I like that idea. Maybe we might be able to do something along those lines. Problem is we could use a multiple hand on the production side of it at our end here. So that's going to bring Koga to the plate. He is 0 for 2. He has struck out twice. He's already squaring to bunt. And he takes a fastball down for a ball, and the count is 1-0. I don't know where that last pitch was. That looked pretty good to me. Koga batting 179. He's got 7 homers and 39 RBIs. Our friend Ruben Hogan says, will Japanese ever send players to college baseball in America? The Japanese have a pretty good college league over in Japan. A couple of years ago, pre-pandemic, the University of British Columbia hosted 2 teams from the Japanese league and Sacramento State in a tournament in late August. As the pitch comes in, it is a fastball popped up behind home plate. That's going to reach the screen, and it's going to run the count to 1-1. And certainly some of the teams that can come, some of the teams that are the college teams in Japan are pound for pound as good as anything. I think the Tokyo University won the tournament, and they beat Sac State in the final, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken. So runner at second is Suzuki, and it is 1 ball and 1 strike to Koga. Our friend Walking Spotted Bear says we've been doing this for a while. This is our 3rd season we've been doing this. As the 1-1 pitch is on the way, and it is a fastball bunted down the third base line. It is picked up by Suzuki. He fires to first, and that's going to retire Koga. That's going to go down as a sacrifice, and that'll be in the books as 1-4. Advancing over to third is Suzuki, and that's going to bring up the shortstop, Ryosuke Kadama. Our friend BVP says that Google has a great NPB scoreboard. There is another English scoreboard that I would put into the chat, but it's been down. It's good for Major League Baseball. The NPB had it going, but it hasn't been running at all year. That was on the hosted site. And I would put it in the link into the chat for you if it was working, but it's not been working at all this season, which is kind of crazy. So here is the batter Kadama to the plate with the runner at third. By the looks of it, we're going to see, I assume they got to be playing the infield in here because they can't let this one get away. Here comes the pitch. As the lefty kicks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on and fouled away. Count is 0-1 to Kadama. Troll says he's just given BVP a bit of a hard time. Yeah, Living Room said it best. He goes, their algorithm is faulty. They might be good, but reports on finals aren't perfect. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of some of their stuff. I look into it sometimes, and I don't know if I like the Google box scores. Here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on and missed, and the count now goes to 0-2 on Kadama. Ruben says his sports book streams Japan baseball. Yeah, we were talking about that the other one. I think it was Bet2X or something like that. If you're a member or you join one of these sports books, they actually stream the Japanese games. I say faulty is it really doesn't give you a lot of breadth, as there's a fastball swung on and missed, and Kadama is down on strikes for the second out of the inning. So 2 away, and that's going to leave it all up to the top of the order in Shinya Hasegawa. Our friend Walking Spotted Bear says, I've had a hard time finding a good scoreboard to watch. Where can I find how many balls, strikes, such as? You're absolutely right. It is difficult for the English scoreboards. You could go right to the NPB site, but they're a little bit slow too. They don't give you the balls and strikes. They just update the batter results. As I mentioned before, the website, the hosted site, was really, really good, but hasn't worked at all this year. We're 6 weeks into the season or more. So the top of the order, Hasegawa at the plate. He is officially 1 for 3 tonight. He singled to start the ball game. He's grounded to short, and he reached on an error his last time up, and he was able to come around to score the 4th run of the ball game for the Lions. Our friend BVP says some fans stream balls and strikes, plus box scores on YouTube. There's a fastball swung on. It's popped up over on the first base side. Moving over underneath it is Daichi Suzuki. An inning dominated by Suzuki's, but he's going to make the catch, and that is going to do it here as Hasegawa is retired. Well, they strand the runner Shohei Suzuki at third. The leadoff double goes for naught. And that might come back to bite the Lions. You never know. No runs in the inning. There was 1 hit. There were no errors and 1 runner left aboard. We're now moving to the top of the 7th inning. Your score is the Lions 6, the Eagles 2. Hang tight, everybody. We're glad you're with us tonight. We'll be back in just a couple moments with all the action right after this. We got a 6-2 ball game, everybody. It is going to be the Eagles coming to bat in their half of the 7th inning. Hang tight. We'll be back in just a few. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the top of the 7th inning, and the Eagles are sending the top of the order, Yamazaki, Watanabe, and Ito to bat here in their half of the 7th. As the right-hander Takahashi ready to go back to work again as he works to the set position, and now he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 0-1. I was thinking of the broadcaster for the Seattle Mariners the other day, Rylan Roland Smith, I believe, the former pitcher, the Australian. Every time I get a chance to listen to him, I get a good kick out of it because of his thick, gauzy accent. As there's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count now goes to 0-2. Sometimes you get a chance to listen to the different ones, and of course, you've got Rick Riz in the booth for the Mariners, the longtime radio broadcaster. As there's a fastball that misses down. And the count now goes to 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is, as Yamazaki is batting here in the top half of the 7th inning. 1 for 3 tonight. He has driven in one of the 2 eagle runs. He's grounded to first. He's flown to left, and he's got himself a single. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on. This ball is going to be lined into center field, just past the shortstop, Kadama, who is moving to his left, and that is going to be a leadoff single here for Yamazaki, and that's going to bring up the second baseman, Yoshiaki Watanabe. Our friend Walking Spotted Bear asked the question if we've been doing this a long time. So not particularly. I mean, it's been, more of a hobby than anything else. This is, as we said, we did about 156 games last year. We're down on our pace this year, but we were doing some major league games. We were doing Japanese games. I think we did about 100 Japanese games and about 50 some odd MLB games. The problem is time. That's the problem this year. Just not enough of it. So the right-hander Takahashi kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on and it is tapped foul over on the first base side. The count is quickly no balls and 1 strike. Watanabe tonight 0 for 2. He has grounded out twice, walked and driven in a run. It was the bases loaded walk variety. Our friend Troll says a shout out to Heat Nation because I know it's random, but I've been having a few, and they're going to the Eastern Conference Final. Here's the 0-1 pitch. It's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count now goes to 1-1, and they're probably going to get themselves the Boston Celtics, one would have to think. At least in my world, that's probably what it's going to be. But tip your hat to the Heat because they've gone further than I would have thought. Here's the 1-1 pitch as Takahashi works to the set. And here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball that misses down. It skirts away from Koga, but he's able to retrieve it. That's going to keep the runner Yamazaki at first base. That's going to run the count now to 2-1. Our friend Walking Spotted Bear wants to know if the NPB is using a pitch clock. No pitch clock here. Our friend Papa Marshall says Laker win the finals. Yeah, I hate to say it. There's a fastball swung on and it is fouled into the feet of Watanabe, and the count now goes to 2-2. As we take our Japanese baseball a little different direction, but I have to say you can just see that it is going to be LeBron James winning another championship this year. I don't know if I want to admit that or not. So 111 pitches here for Takahashi, and Jordan Dones, thanks for the commentary, and we appreciate you for listening in. 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Watanabe, as the runner at first is Yamazaki, and here comes the pitch. It is a fastball that just misses outside. It's going to run the count to 3-2 on Watanabe. Pitch number 112 here for Takahashi. One would have to think that he's going to be nearing the end of his rope, but then we saw Soshi Togo earlier in the week go for 140 plus against the Yokohama Dana Bay Stars. So who knows? Maybe Takahashi's just getting loose here. And here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball swung on a miss. The throw down to second is not in time, but it's also going to sail into right center field. Getting up and scampering over to third is Yamazaki. That's going to be a stolen base. And then it's going to be an error on the catcher. I don't think they would have got him had the throw been on the money, but that's going to go down as E2. So Watanabe is gone on the strikeout for the first out of the inning, but that's going to move Yamazaki all the way over to third. And that'll bring up the third baseman, Yukiya Ito. So Ito tonight is 1 for 3. He had a single back in the first inning. He's also struck out and grounded out in his 3 trips to the plate. Curious to see how this will all play out. As here comes the first pitch. It is a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Ito. And what I mean by that, curious to see how that NBA playoffs is going to all play out. I think the Lake Show is going to go right on through to the finals and win this whole darn thing. Not that I like the Lakers, because I really don't. So no balls and 1 strike to Ito. As Takahashi ready to go back to work again. As he leans in and gets the sign from his catcher. And now he works to the set. Here comes the pitch. It is a breaking ball that just misses outside, and the count now goes to 1-1 on Ito. Troll says he's hoping for a Heat Lakers rematch. Well, I think the NBA office wants a Celtics Laker rematch so they can have Larry Bird and Irvin Magic Johnson come out of the rafters to be a part of that. Here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on it. Is grounded softly past the bag at third base. Foul. It's going to run the count now to 1-2 to Ito. Who would have thunk this is going to turn into a basketball stream? But I have to say, I really like, I'm not so much an NBA fan as much as I really do and go enjoy watching college basketball live. If you've never had the opportunity, or if you've never been there, I've been to 2 Maui Classics, and the Maui Classics are absolutely outstanding. The seats, you're only about 10 rows up, and you get a chance to watch the game. One of the kind of the coolest things is the way they present it is they've got the team's supporters on the one side, or the team's fans. There's a fastball swung on and missed, and Ito is down on strikes. He's gone for out number 2. So 2 gone here, and that is going to bring up the designated hitter in Hideo Asamura. And boy, has Takahashi gotten stronger as this game has gone along. And I may have it off, but it looks like in my books that is going to be strikeout number 6 on the evening. So Takahashi ready to go again here. Here comes the first offering, and the right-hander kicks and delivers to Asamura. It's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. BVP says he loves the Maui Classic. Maui Classic is absolutely fantastic. As I said, it's only about maybe 10, 15 rows from courtside to the top of the venue. They play at the Lahaina Civic Center. It's a conference facility, really. It's not even in a high school gym, but it might as well be. As here comes the 0-1 offering as the right-hander holds set. And he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-1. In 2000, I think it was 13, I saw Baylor and Syracuse in the final. And then the next year, I didn't go to the finals day. I actually went earlier. I watched all the first-round games, and that was pretty cool as well. All good stuff. BVP says his alma mater, Illinois, won it a few years ago. There's a breaking ball that misses up and away, and the count is now 2-1. The Big Ten team, the first year I went was the University of Minnesota Golden Gophers. They were not very good. 2 balls and 1 strike here to Asamura. Trying to think of who the other Big Ten team was the next year. I guess I'd have to go back and look. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. As it's on the way, it's a breaking ball swung on and missed. The count now goes to 2-2 on Asamura. Our friend, the Walking Spotted Bear, said, somehow last night I knew that the Bay Stars, LG Twins, SSG Landers were great fades, but he didn't bet it. Trollzaddy says he gets to see a few tourneys, cheap tickets and quality basketball. Here's the 2-2. See, breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 3-2. Probably the funniest thing I've ever heard. I was sitting at the San Diego State BYU game, and I was sitting next to a guy from San Diego State, and he looks at me and he says, I love when we play BYU. And I said to him, why is that? He says, no lines in the beer line. You can go right up and get your beer because BYU, they ain't drinking beer. So 3 balls and 2 strikes it is here to Asamura. The runner at third is Yamazaki, 2 gone here in the top of the 7th inning. Pitch number 123, about to be delivered here by the Lions right-hander. And here comes the pitch. It is a fastball that misses outside. That's going to be ball 4. That last pitch was at 98 miles an hour. Boy, oh boy, Takahashi really heating it up here. And here comes the pitching coach on a full sprint to the mound. That's going to be ball 4 to Asamura. So that's going to put runners at the corners. It's going to bring Takiro Okajima to the plate. But the pitching coach, Toyota, is out to the mound to have a few words with his star right-hander, as they got a good smile out of him for sure. But looks like we're going to keep him in the ball game here. Friend BVP says he's been to Provo a few times in the driest county on earth. Our friend Walking Spotted Bear wants to know what's going on with the Eastern baseball. I have to admit, though, I don't do anything with the KBO. Don't follow it. Don't pay attention to it. Don't really track it. The most KBO I ever watched was when ESPN was picking up the games with John Shambi and with Eduardo Perez. Our friend Titus says he's watching the game on TV. Well, we appreciate you for popping in here. So here comes the offering here to the left-handed hitting Okajima. It's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. One would have to think that this has got to be the last inning of work. BVP says the COVID-era KBO games, at 5 a.m. Not much else going on. Might as well watch some of that stuff. I can offer thoughts on the KBO, but I don't want to insult any Korean listeners in here. Here comes the 1-0 pitch as the right-hander holds set, and as he kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball that misses outside. It's now 2-0 to Okajima. Okajima tonight is officially 0 for 2. He walked, he's bounced into a fielder's choice, and he has flown out to left field. Our friend Walking Spotted Dog says, I want to watch the NPB. It's earlier. My night owl, but 5:30 is a rowdy to start a game. There's a fastball that misses. The count's 3-0, and Takahashi not happy with the last call by the home plate umpire. As we watched that pitch, it looked like it was pretty darn good. So 3 balls and no strikes to Okajima. BVP says he watched it to satisfy the baseball cravings. Yeah, especially with nothing else going on. I mean, Major League Baseball could have been playing at that time. The Japanese League was playing in front of nobody. It was a made-for-TV event. There was a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is now 3-1 to Okajima. And you have yourselves literally a captive audience. People got nothing else to watch. I'm going to tell you, when we're watching the KBO at 5 a.m. Pacific time, that was when they were showing it here, people were looking for something to do. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. As the right-hander delivers, it's a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded up the middle, fielded by the shortstop Kadama, who flips it to the second baseman. What a nice play by the middle infield. And that is going to retire Asamura at second on a fielder's choice. It's going to go down 6-4. That is going to erase Asamura for the third out of the inning. And that will do it here as the Eagles come away with nothing in their half of the seventh. No runs in the inning. There was a hit, no errors, and there was 2 runners left aboard. We're moving to the bottom of the 7th inning. Hang tight, everybody. We appreciate you guys for listening in here. We'll be back and chat with the chat right after this. Welcome back, everybody. We are going to be seeing the 2, 3, and 4 hitters to come to bat for the Lions in their half of the 7th. That means Ninting Wu, Shuta Tonosaki, and Takia Nakamura to come to bat. We had the pitching change in the last half inning as Suzuki. I'm curious to see if that is the end of the night for Takahashi. I would think it would be, but you never know, as who knows, 120 some odd pitches might be just the tune-up for him. Our friend, the Walking Spotted Bear, says just call him Bear, but we mentioned that is that probably why we call you that is that everybody else will know who I'm talking about, in case there's any other bears that roll into the stream. So there was a guy doing the Hanwha games in English, but he may have quit. Don't really know too much about the other streamers in the Japanese or the Korean realm of things. Not out of insult to them, but we don't really pay attention to those guys as much. We do have a pitching change, as it is going to be a right-hander onto the hill here for the Golden Eagles. This is going to be the right-hander, and that is Nato Nishiguchi. He pitched and got roughed up the other night. He has got a 5.02 ERA on the season, as the first two pitches he delivered are in for balls, and the count is 2-0 to Nin-Ting Wu. He's got no wins and 4 losses in his 16 appearances. He's worked 14 and a third innings. He's allowed 17 hits. He's walked 4 and struck out 12. So Nishiguchi on in relief. Pitcher number 4 here used by the Golden Eagles. There's a very slow breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is now 2-1 to Wu. Wu 1 for 3 tonight. He's got a single in 3 trips. He's also scored a run. As the right-hander gets his sign from the catcher Yasuda, he works to the set position, and the pitch is on the way. It is a fastball swung on and tap foul over on the first base side, fielded by the first base coach, and that is going to be the count run now to 2 balls and 2 strikes to Wu. Wu is 1 for 3, as we said in this one. He has got himself a slow start to the season. He played really well in the Classic for the Taiwanese, had a big home run, had some clutch RBIs. Hasn't really got it going here for the Lions yet this year, as the 2-2 is on the way. It's a fastball that just misses inside, and that runs the count now to 3-2 on Wu. It's going to be a tough season here for the Golden Eagles. They just can't pitch it well enough. At least that's in my opinion. So here we go. 3 balls and 2 strikes as the right-hander works to the set position. And he delivers a fastball that swung on and missed. And Wu has gone down on strikes for the second time tonight. He's out for the first out of the inning. And that is going to bring up the second baseman, Shuta Tonosaki. Friend Troll says he thinks that the Swallows will win tonight. BVP says that Shimida has just made an insane catch in the Baystar game. Our friend Walking Spotted Bear says that he's been told that the KBO is like single A and NPB is like double A. I'll give you my thoughts on that in a minute. There's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is now 1 ball and no strikes to Shuta Tonosaki. Tonosaki 1 for 2 in this one. He's got a double in 2 trips. He's also had a sacrifice fly and an RBI. As the offering is on the way, it's a fastball that misses down, and it's now 2-0. I've heard people refer to the NPB as AAA. Can't comment so much on the AA portion or single A portion of the NP or the KBO. My opinion of the NPB is I would say it's probably in some ways AAA-ish. As the pitch is a 2 ball and no strike pitch is a breaking ball that misses upstairs. The count is 3-0. The quality of the players that are playing in the NPB are usually big leaguers on the downside of their career, or AAA players who are trying to find their niche over here to bounce back to the big leagues. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is now 3-1. But in saying that, when I look at teams individually, I remember at one point the Hanshin Tigers, I think it was last year, they had a great start to the season. Or 2 years ago, they had that great start to the season. Is the 3-1 is on the way. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 3-2. BVP says it could be AAA plus. I disagree with that, and I'm going to explain why. It has to do with the limit of the import players on the field. When you only have 3 imports that can play and 4 on a game sheet, it kind of, I don't say diminishes, but you're lightening up your talent pool. There's a fastball swung on. It's lifted into center field. It's going to be caught by the center fielder, Okajima. That's going to retire Tonosaki for the second out of the inning. It's going to leave it all up to Takia Nakamura. Well, Nakamura tonight, 0 for 1. He struck out, but he's walked twice and scored a couple of runs. As I said before, because the NPB, you can only have 4 players that are imports on the game sheet and 3 in the lineup at one time. When you think of the teams like the Chicago White Sox, they could roll maybe 7 of their 8 positional players out at one time as an import. As here comes the first offering from the righty Nishiguchi, and it's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. On the flip side of that, the positive is the Japanese are allowed to develop their own players. You're not going to be bringing in imports to take domestic guys' jobs when you can keep them domestically playing and develop them. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. There's a fastball that bounces up to the plate, and the count is 1-1. My friend Walking Spotted Bear says, kind of funny, 3 ringers on each team. Well, in some ways, yeah. I mean, when you think of the Japanese, that usually catchers are not players that are brought in to be imports. Now, Yariel Martinez, who's with the Fighters right now, was with the Dragons last couple of years. He was one of those few import catchers. Here's the 1-1. As Nishiguchi delivers a fastball that's tapped foul at home plate, the count goes to 1-2. Certain positions that the Japanese will excel at, as we said, catchers is one. They've been really producing some good second basemen. When you think of Tonosaki, you think of Tetsuda Yamada, Shugo Maki. You got a bunch of those there. Our friend BVP says agreed. Inflects a good Japanese talent. There's a fastball swung on, its ground softly over to third. That's going to keep the count at 1-2. But as I say, because of some of the talent, some teams probably are better than AAA. When you think of the Oryx Buffaloes right now, and even last year, and even the Swallows last year, maybe not so much this year because they lost quite a few guys in the offseason. They could be AAA plus, but then you look at the Fighters and the way the Eagles have been playing. I don't know if I would call those teams AAA teams, and if they are, they're not a very good AAA team. Maybe a single high A type of team, especially the Fighters last year. Oh, that was painful. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is going to be lined into center field. It's going to be a 2-out single for Nakamura. Nice piece of hitting for the big fella. He stayed inside the ball and drove a base hit right up the middle. That's going to put him on at first base with 2 gone, and that'll bring up the first baseman, David McKinnon. BVP says, yeah, more like certain teams are at that level. Yeah, that's for sure. Well, McKinnon tripled his last time up. He knocked in a pair of runs. He's also got a couple of walks and scored a run. He has been all over the base paths tonight, but only 1 hit. He's raised his season average to 256. Here's a case in point right here, a AAA caliber type of player. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count is 0-1. As we mentioned earlier in the stream, McKinnon had been with the Angels and the Athletics last year. And in 50 big league at-bats, he finds himself in the NPB. And on top of it, when you're that type of fringe player, you want to try to make yourself some money. There's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count goes to 1-1. So a guy like McKinnon, I don't know his contract details, but I'm going to assume he came over to play this year at a rate of about $750,000 US. And he's going to try to get himself a payday and set himself up for the rest of his life. I know some other players that's what they've looked to do. They've been in AAA. They're saying, geez, I should I take a run at going overseas to play and get a good payday? Go play for a year or 2 or whatever it might be. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball that misses down. A good stop there by Yasuda. That's going to make the count at 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Our friend Walking Spotted Bear asked, do these teams, even the good ones, have terrible losing streaks of hitting slumps throughout the year? Well, they can have some streaks, that's for sure. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is 2-2. I was mentioning earlier that the Golden Eagles last year rattled off a 17-game win streak. I think it was 17. That number keeps popping into my head, and they were absolutely outstanding. And then they couldn't have played worse the rest of the way down the stretch, and they've carried that into this year here. They're just in shambles. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to McKinnon as the right-hander works to the set. Here comes the pitch. It is a fastball swung on and missed. And McKinnon goes down on strikes for out number 3, and that is going to do it here for the Lions in their half of the 7th inning. No runs, 1 hit, the single by Nakamura, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. We're now moving to the top of the 8th inning. Looks like the Lions are finally going to make a pitching change. We'll be back here for that in just a couple moments. Appreciate everybody for being here. We thank you for listening in tonight. Here's our friend Matt once again.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the top of the 8th inning, and coming to bat for the Golden Eagles will be Hiroki Shimouchi, Daichi Suzuki, and Yuma Yasuda. But we do have a pitching change for the Seibu Seibu Lions, and we'll get you updated on that one as quickly as we get the confirmation. Looks like they're going to the bullpen, and it is going to be a left-hander coming into the game. And it is going to be Sato. So Shinsuke Sato coming in. He's going to be making his 14th appearance of the season. He's got 1 win and no losses. He's worked 11 innings. He's allowed 6 hits. He has walked 4, struck out 11. He's only given up 2 runs, both of which were earned, and it's a 164 earned run average. So he is taking over here, Shinsuke Sato, on in relief. So I'm curious to see. Usually they don't play the matchup game. That's something else in the NPB. They don't go to the lefty-righty stuff like we see in North America. So he is set to come in to face Shimouchi Suzuki, who are both left-handed hitting, and I believe Yasuda is as well. So that is where he's going to face, and they usually won't do the switcheroo. But Sato on in relief, the second pitcher used here by the Lions tonight. One would have to think, and I believe Nishikawa also a lefty, so 4 in a row. No matter what happens, he's probably going to be left in there. So here we go. A lot of left-handed hitters, by the way, in the Eagles lineup, just out of a general principle. And the first pitch is on its way to Shimouchi. It's a fastball taken for a call strike, and the count is 0-1. Shimouchi tonight is officially 0 for 3. He's bounced into a fielder's choice. He's grounded out and flown out. But he did score the first run of the ballgame for the Golden Eagles way back in the second inning. As the 0-1's on the way, it's a fastball that's waved at and missed, and the count now goes to 0-2. This has got to be the worst stretch that I've seen Shimouchi at the plate. As we said before, I really like his approach, generally speaking. He is a professional hitter, but boy, he has really struggled this season so far. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted foul. It's going to get into the netting down the right field line. And that is going to keep the count at 0 balls and 2 strikes. Interesting. I remember there was a player a few years ago who played in the KBO, and then when they asked him about the abilities of some of the players in the KBO, And you got some guys with major league talent over there. You guys got guys with AAA talent as well. And then you'll be playing a team at the bottom end of the standings, and it's like they got 3 high school outfielders being rolled out there. As that pitch is a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 0-2 to Shimouchi. But make no bones about it, you do have some talent in that league. There's no doubt. It's just the amount of it isn't quite there. I was mentioning earlier about the Chinese league or the Taiwanese league, and a number of years ago, the problem were those people who were betting on games. As here's the 0-2, it's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at no balls and 2 strikes. The Taiwanese league, a lot of people were wanting to gamble on the games, and they were concerned about games being thrown for right or wrong reasons. So much money. I know in Europe they've had some problem with soccer referees that were got to by the Croatian betting rings. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. There's a breaking ball swung on and lifted foul down the left field line. That's going to remain the count at no balls and 2 strikes. But unfortunately, that's kind of the case, is that the big money that gets dangled in front of some of these officials or some of these players, it could be something that is going to be turned over, and that would be something that could really disrupt the game. I mean, think of Yasiel Puig right now and the issues. I wonder what's going to come out of that. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Our friend Walking Spotted Bear says the KBO has limited foreign contract rules. Only a few foreign guys. Yeah, that's pretty much the same deal. I'm not exactly sure on their rules, but there is a cap. And in fact, you can have as many players as you want that are import players. And I'll use the example. The Hanshin Tigers a couple years ago had 8 international players. There's a breaking ball missing down to Shimouchi, and the count's now 2-2. And the problem is that you can only put 4 on the game sheet. And they were saying, like, what's going on here? Why is it that they got 4 hitters and 4 pitchers or whatever it was? And you only have 75 roster spots between the NPB team and the farm team for contracts, and 8 of them were to international players. So here's the 2-2. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into left field and moving back and making the grab is the left fielder Shohei Suzuki. Good swing there by Shimouchi. But right to the glove of Suzuki, he is gone for out number 1. So 1 up and 1 away, and that is going to bring up the first baseman, Daichi Suzuki. Our friend Walking Spotted Bear says, is there a lot of fixing in the NPB or suspicions of it? Not really. Not so much in the Japanese league. Even not so much in the KBO either. So here comes the offering from the lefty Sato, who delivers a fastball that moves Suzuki off of the plate for ball 1. Suzuki's already been hit by a pitch tonight. He's also singled and struck out. He's raised his season average up to 273. As the lefty Sato works to the set position, and now here comes the pitch. He kicks and he delivers. It is a fastball swung on. It is grounded over to deep in the 4 hole, fielded by Tonosaki. He throws to first. It's going to go down as a ground out, 4-3. And Suzuki is gone for the second out of the inning, and that's going to leave it all up to the catcher, Yuma Yasuda. Well, for Yasuda, this is going to be his second plate appearance. He was hit by a pitch in the 6th inning when he came into bat for Hikaru Oda. Our friend Jordan asked the question, do you know what happened to Yasiel Puig? He was a stud. He sure was. Well, we're going to have a pinch hitter here for Yasuda. It's going to be Mikael Franco, who's batting 188 on the season with 3 homers and 10 RBIs. Peculiar spot to put him up in the bat with 2 out, unless you're thinking that you just want to get him the at-bats. Here comes the pitch. It's a fastball swung on, and it's lifted into right field. Racing back on it on the warning track is the right fielder, Ito. He's going to make the catch. And that is going to do it. We'll be back here in just a couple moments, everybody, as there were no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board in the 8th. Franco is retired. And that will do it here. So we'll see if he stays in the game or if he is going to be coming out Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in 60. We appreciate you guys for being here, and I'll talk about Yasiel Puig when we come back in a minute. Is he going to jail? Well, that's the question. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. It's going to be Ito, Shohei Suzuki, and Yuta Koga to come to bat. We'll check to see if they are going to be staying with Nishiguchi or if it is going to be yet another pitching change. And that is looking like it is exactly what it's going to be, another pitching change. It's going to be Takada, who is going to be taking over here for the Golden Eagles, the right-hander coming into the ball game, as he is going to be making it looks like his second appearance of the season. So this is Koichi Takada. Takada, he has 3 innings. He's allowed 2 hits. He's got 1 walk and struck out 2, and he's got an ERA of 0. So he made his season debut against the Buffaloes a few days ago. So Koichi Takada in the game in relief. So the question came up about Yasiel Puig. Well, Yasiel Puig was arrested, or I shouldn't say arrested, but he was charged with some match fixing. Been throwing all kinds of stuff at him as they think that he was involved in some sort of gambling or stuff of that nature. So he's got a federal trial, and that is he's being faced with multiple charges. So that is the question, and so they're not happy with how this is all about. So he also said he's obstructing justice and different things in the United States. They feel that he is in one of those situations where he is kind of a witch hunt, or they want to make an example of him. That is where he is at, a 32-year-old. What a waste in some regards. He did not have the level head on his shoulders, but that is what we're looking at with regards to Yasiel Puig. As the first pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Ito. Ito tonight 0 for 3 as he bounced, as he's also scored a run in this one. As there's a breaking ball swung on it, is grounded to the shortstop Yamazaki, who goes into the outfield side of second base. He makes the play. He does a 360-degree spin, and that's going to retire Ito on a ground out 6-3. Oh boy, if you get a chance to see that one, what a fantastic play by the shortstop. He is gone for out number 1. Our friend Walking Spotted Bear says, jail. Yeah, it could be one of those situations that Puig might have himself into a bit of trouble with the law, unfortunately. He's going to have some explaining to do. Like, Puig is not exactly the sharpest tool in the shed. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. And so some of the people that he's been around and has trusted with, maybe not the crowd he should be hanging around with. Here's the 0-1 pitch. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-1. I remember when he was with the Dodgers, how many times was his house broken into? And certain things were taken or stolen. It makes you wonder if he was maybe people were coming to get him for some gambling debts. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 2-1. Sometimes you see those things have a trend. You got to keep your eyes open on that if you're in law enforcement. Targeted hits, so to speak, on the person's personal possessions. Here's the 2-1 pitch. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count now goes to 2-2 on Suzuki. Our friend Walking Spotted Bear asks the question, do you guys use my KBO stats? Well, as I said before, I don't use the KBO because we don't look at that. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is grounded to third, backhanded by the third baseman Ito, who throws across the diamond, but Suzuki is not able to hang on. Fantastic play there by Ito. It one-hop Suzuki, but he's not able to hang on to that one. If I'm going to give an error, I might give an error to the first baseman on that one. Great play on the backhand by Ito. We're going to see what the official scorer has to rule on that. We'll wait on that one in a moment, but that looks like, I think it could be an error. Great backhand play. One hop across the diamond, and Suzuki unable to hang on. Oh, Ito flashing the leather and the arm. I'm just taking a look there, but yeah, nice job by the first base umpire to hold the call. So one gone here, the runner at first, and there's a breaking ball that misses upstairs for a ball, and the count is 1-0. Sometimes at some of the ballparks, they flash the scoreboard to let you know what the error is or wasn't. We'll know if it flips over to 2 for the Eagles, because they don't flash the scoreboard here. So 1 ball and no strikes as Takada throws over the first base, and diving back in time as the base runner. So 1 ball and no strikes it is to Koga. Koga is a double play candidate. He doesn't run particularly well, the catcher. As the right-hander comes to the set, and Takada delivers a fastball that misses outside, and the count now goes to 2-0. Yosuke Kadama waits his turn on deck if they can keep this inning moving. As a reminder, we'll be back on the airwaves again tomorrow night, same time, 10 p.m. Pacific, 1 a.m. Eastern for these same 2 teams. And if you've got the channel bookmarked, you guys can take a look at the schedule. We'll put it out on Monday. We'll make a decision on what we're going to call. It'll continue to be more Pacific League games, but we will call some action in the Central League, especially if Trevor Bauer takes to the hill. So 3 balls and no strikes it is now here to the catcher Koga. Haven't got an update on that yet to see if they've ruled that an error or not. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 3-1. Sometimes the NPB site will do it a little bit quicker if we know that it's going to be a hit or an error, so we'll see what they have to say. The attendance, as we said before in this game, a little light, 18,417. And here comes the pitch. It is a breaking ball swung on and missed. The count now goes to 3-2 on Koga. By the looks of it, they may have given batter Suzuki a base hit in this one. But we'll still have to wait and see on that. As the right-hander holds to the set. Here comes the 3-2. There's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is looped over the head of the second baseman into right field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Rounding second and heading to third is Suzuki. That's going to put runners on the corners. It's almost an excuse me single by Koga. He does a great piece of hitting by throwing the bat out on the ball. And that is going to allow the runner to go from first to third, and that's going to bring up the shortstop Ryosuke Kadama. Nice piece of hitting and some good base running over there by Suzuki. So runners at the corners with 1 gone, and Kadama striding to the plate. And again, we thank everybody who stuck around with us here tonight. As we said, it's been a decent ball game, but a little bit of a long affair here in this one. We're already 3+ hours deep into it. In a ball game that probably shouldn't be that way. There's just been a lot of pitches thrown in this one. out-of-town scoreboard as we take our peek at it. 2-2 at the Tokyo Dome, as it's in the bottom of the ninth between the Giants and the Carp. 7-2 at the Koshin for the Tigers over the Bay Stars, and 5-0 for the Fighters over the Marines. That game is already a final. The other games are later starts. They'll come up in the next 45 minutes. Here's the pitch. It is a squaring to bunt was the batter Kadama, and he's going to take that for a ball low, and the count is 1-0. Kadama tonight is 0 for 3. He has 2 strikeouts, and he has popped to short. As he gets the sign from his third base coach, I wonder if they will try to safety squeeze a run in here. Push another run across for the 7th run of the ball game. As the right-handed throwing Takada kicks and delivers. He does square to bunt, but he pops it foul. That's going to reach the seats over on the first base side. It's going to run the count to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is. Our friend Walking Spotted Bear says SSG Landers getting blown up by Hanwha. Second day in a row over in the KBO. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Lions looking to pad their lead. Eagles got one more chance to try to get some runs to claw back into this one. Here comes the 1-1. They square it a bunt again. Kadama gets it down, fielded by the pitcher. That's going to get the run in. It's a safety squeeze, or not quite a full suicide squeeze. That's going to be an RBI. It's going to go down as a sacrifice, 1-4. It's going to retire Kadama for the second out. It's going to advance Koga into scoring position at second, and it brings home Suzuki with the 7th run of the ball game. And it is now a 7-2 ball game here for the Lions. We watched that one again. Nice job by the pitcher to get off the mound and to be able to get the out. So that is going to bring up the top of the order in Shinya Hasegawa. 7-2, the Lions have the lead now here in the bottom of the 8th inning. They're looking to add another one as they do have a runner in scoring position, but there is 2 gone. So Hasegawa steps to the plate. He's 1 for 4 tonight. He's got a single in 4 trips. He's also reached on an error. He's grounded out, and he has a lined out. The first pitch is swung on and fouled away, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. He'll be followed by Ninting Wu should he reach safely here. He entered the game batting .250, 3 for 12, and he is now 4 for 16, still hitting .250. 1 hit in every 4 trips to the plate. And the pitch is a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into right center field. Racing over is Okajima. He's going to make the catch, and that is going to do it. And we're going to be down here for the final at-bats for the Eagles in just a moment. There was 1 run in the inning on the benefit of 2 hits. There was no errors, and there was 1 runner left aboard. We are now moving to the top of the 9th inning. Your score is the Lions 7 and the Eagles 2. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back with the call. The top of the 9th inning when we return after this. Appreciate you all for being here with us tonight. We'll be right back after this.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just 1 roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole. Yeah.
Hello, kids. Steve coming back at you for a Big Bang Theory commercial timeout from Freddie. Good game calling there, Freddie. Always love listening to you. You never cease to amaze me. But let's see what we get from the cards really quick. We have Wallowitz. Hey, we have Sheldon Cooper. We have a foil card. Nice. Hey, look, it's Leonard. Another Sheldon Cooper. Hey, thanks for joining me. Hope you enjoy the game. And Freddie, let's big bang this thing out of here.
Appreciate you, Steve, and the support you give to the channel. And in turn, we support Steve Rademacher after the game. Go check him out. He's got all kinds of weird and crazy things across the board on his channel. It is going to be Jesus Tohoku coming into the ball game. The former Rockies, Rangers, Marlins pitcher is going to be on for his 14th appearance of the 2023 campaign. No wins, 1 losses. He's worked 12 innings. He's allowed 9 hits. He's walked 5. He struck out 8, and he's got an ERA of 3.00. So Tohoku in on relief, and he is going to be facing the 9, 1, and 2 hitters in the batting order. That means Nishikawa, Yamazaki, and Watanabe here to get this going against him in the 9th inning. The Eagles are down to their final at-bats. That is where we stand here. Our friend Walking Spotted Bear says the big sports books are playing the KBO games now if you have an account. Wish they do it for the NPB. Actually, a couple of people said that they are, as the fastball was taken for a call and strike. There is a breaking ball swung on and missed, and now the count goes to 0-2. I forget who it is. It was Bet2X or something along those lines that would show or stream NPB games. If you're in tomorrow night, jog Alexander Leggett's mind because he would be able to tell you, but I can't remember who it was that was telling us about it. That fastball misses down and the count is 1-2. So it is out there. It's just a question of who's doing it. I don't know. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is, as Nishikawa is batting here to lead off the 9th inning. It'll be Yamazaki and Watanabe to follow. The Golden Eagles fans traveling well for this one. Have a large contingency here in Seibu. There's a split finger pitch that misses down, and the count now goes to 2-2. Tohoku looking to take care of business here in the 9th inning. Not a safe situation, but he's in to get a little bit of work in here. 7-2, the Lions have the lead. As the right-hander waiting for the left-handed hitting Nishikawa to get in to the batter's box. And there's a pitch. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count remains at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. As we mentioned, we'll look forward to seeing these 2 teams again tomorrow night. We're trying to get the information on who they will be starting tomorrow night. There is a fastball swung on and missed. Ishikawa down on strikes. He's out for out number 1. That's going to bring up the top of the order. Tsuyoshi Yamazaki. Well, Yamazaki tonight has had a pretty decent day at the plate. He's 2 for 4. A couple of singles. He's stolen a base, and he's got himself an RBI. He's also had some really nice plays defensively as well. Been pretty solid. So he is batting here with 1 out in the 9th inning. The starting pitchers for tomorrow night, as there's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is quickly 1-0 to Yamazaki. So if you're tuning in, it's going to be Tomichiro Samita going for the Lions and Ryota Takanaka for the Eagles. The fastball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is. Other pitchers matchups tomorrow night, it's going to be Menez for the Fighters against Mercedes of the Marines. The other game in the Pacific League sees Yamashita going against Gunkel, Buffaloes versus Hawks. As that fastball misses, and the count now goes to 2-1 on Yamazaki. Over in the Central League, it'll be Akehoshi against Anderson. That's the Giants and the Carp, respectively. The Swallows send Ogawa to the hill. They'll face Takahashi of the Dragons, as there's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. The count goes even to 2-2 on Yamazaki. And And then the other one is Junya Nishi going for the Tigers against Taira for the Yokohama Dana Bay Stars. And that's if that game goes off. They are calling for rain tomorrow. So that game at the Koshin could be in jeopardy. There's a fastball swung on. It is lined into center field. A nice swing there by the hitter Yamazaki, but it's going to go right to the center fielder for the second out of the inning. And now they are down to their final out are the Eagles. As there's 2 gone here in the 9th inning as Tohoku has come in and been very efficient. It's going to leave it all up to the second baseman, Yoshiaki Watanabe. Our friend Walking Bear says that saw the link in the flash score, said it's not available in my country. A VPN would probably work. Yeah, more than likely. As there's a fastball that is swung on and fouled away, and the count is 0-1. Traditionally, the staff aces usually go on Fridays. That's usually been the piece there. There's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is going to be looped up the middle. That's going to be a base hit for Watanabe, so they're going to keep this one alive. Watanabe, that's his first hit of the ball game. So he is aboard with a single, and that's going to bring up Yukiya Ito. Looked like that Watanabe was going golfing as he golfed that into center field, just beyond the reach of the shortstop Kadama. But there are some solid pitchers going tomorrow. I just wouldn't say any staff aces. One of the things that also, too, the numbering system of the Japanese players, traditionally, the ace of the staff will wear number 18. Not everybody does it. Well, this is going to bring up a pinch hitter in Hiroto Kobakata, as he's going to be batting here for Ito. And the first pitch is a breaking ball swung on and missed. The count is quickly 0-1 to Kobakata. Kobakata, I don't know why the other night, but he left that ball game. He was taken out with a 1 ball and no strike count. We thought maybe he got hurt. Don't know why he had been pulled out of the game in the middle of his at-bats. So no balls and 1 strike, and there's a fastball that misses down, and the count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. First time I think I've seen Tohoku pitch this year. I can't remember him pitching before when we've called Lions games. Here comes the 1-1. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted into deep right field, and this ball is going to be trouble. It's off the wall. Rounding second and stopping at third is going to be the runner, Watanabe. Kobakata's got himself a double, and the Eagles are not dead yet as they've got runners at second and third, 2 gone. That's going to bring up Hideto Asamura. Got to always be a little bit concerned, as that is the batter on deck is the tying run. Our friend Walking Spotted Bear says, are you covering the Lions exclusively right now? No, that's just the way it goes. Usually what I like to do is I like to try to get where we do the same matchup 2 or 3 nights in a row. I couldn't do anything last night. We called other games earlier in the week. And because of the start time tomorrow night, I look for the 10 p.m. Pacific starts. Just can't get the earlier start going, as that first pitch is a breaking ball that misses down to Asamura, and the count is 1-0. Asamura, 1 for 2 in this one here. He's also had a couple of walks, as he waits here on the offering from the right-hander, Tohoku, who delivers a fastball that misses down and in, and the count now goes to 2-0. 2 balls and no strikes. So try to look for, generally speaking, a day out. We look for good pitching matchups. We look for games that we can call. Sometimes we'll do a last minute, or I say last minute, but within the hour or so beforehand, we'll post up a stream, so we'll call a game. There's a fastball that runs inside and almost hits Asamura. Turned him around. That's going to run the count to 3-0. So Tohoku here having a bit of a meltdown, as that's 3 balls and no strikes. You don't want to bring the tying run to the plate. On deck is Takara Okajima. You do that, and it could get really entertaining. There's a fastball that's delivered right down the middle, and it's going to go 3-1 now to Asamura. So 3 balls and 1 strike. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is now 3-2. Friend Walking Spotted Bear says his dad was a radio DJ for over 20 years, and brother did it for a while too. This is just for fun for us. This is not what we do, but baseball is what we do, and we just have fun in doing it. And so hopefully we're better than most, and while we continue to enjoy doing it as the hobby, you'll continue to call. This is our open form. There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 3-2 to Asamura. There are some really good broadcasters out there across North America in all different facets of the sports, whether it's football, hockey, basketball, soccer, you name it. And there's some other guys out there that you often wonder, and you say, how did this guy get the job? But that's in everything, I guess. And so while we're just playing around with it, that's the whole point. We're just having some fun with it, and I'm watching the game anyway. I might as well watch it and give you guys the information to go with it. So here comes the 3-2. The pitch is on the way. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined into right field for a base hit. That's going to get 1 run in. Coming in to score. Here comes the second run in. Kobakata slides in safely. That's going to cut the score line to 7-4. As Watanabe has come in, as did Kobakata. Asamura's got himself a 2 RBI single here in the 9th inning. That's going to bring up Takara Okajima to the plate. So now the score line is 7-4. And it was interesting that our friend Alexander Leggett was in the chat earlier here. He said he thought that the Eagles would get a couple of runs late. And sure enough, it's a bit of a profit, as he is correct. As now the Eagles have scored a couple of more, and Tohoku has given up a couple of runs. That brings Takara Okajima to the dish. Our friend Walking Spotted Bear says, yeah, there's some good ones and mediocre ones, even at the top. That's absolutely it. And there's action in the Lions bullpen. They've got a right-hander up and throwing. But yet they've got to figure out how to get Takara Okajima out right here. And the first pitch is on the way. It's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Jordan says, how many outs are there? There's 2 dead here in the 9th inning. He's trying to get that final out. They got the first 2 outs of the inning, and then it's been 3 hits in a row for the Golden Eagles. There's a fastball that misses down, and now all of a sudden Tohoku looks like he doesn't know where the strike zone is. He just missed that pitch down and away. So 2 balls and no strikes here as the right-hander Tohoku gets his sign from his catcher, Koga. And he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses outside. And the count is now 3-0. Gavo in the house tonight as well. Thanks for popping in, Gavo. Good to see you. So 3 balls and no strikes. Gavo says, are you doing another game after this? Nope, tonight we're shutting it down. I got to get up early tomorrow. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 3-1. We will do these same 2 teams tomorrow night, though, 10 p.m. Pacific, 1 a.m. Eastern. If you're around, come and join us. We look forward to having you in the house. Here's the pitch. It is a fastball that catches the outside corner, and the count is 3-2. We did about 50 major league games last year on our channel, just having some fun with it. Jordan says, I hope your career takes off. I kind of hope it doesn't, actually. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and that's going to be ball 4, although I say that with full tongue in cheek. It is kind of an open forum for people that weren't around here. I told the story. I knew a guy a number of years ago who used to be a drummer, and that's going to bring the manager out. It looks like we're going to have another pitching change possibly here as Toledo is making his way to the mound. I think that's going to be the end of the night here for the pitcher, Tohoku. His night is done as the tying run in Hiroki Shimochi is coming to the plate. So I'll stick around here and I'll tell that story. So there was a fella I knew from high school. He was a really good drummer. And he actually had graduated and he was working as an actuary. And so he was living in one of the major centers in Canada. He was living in Toronto. And he had a condominium and he couldn't practice his drums in the condo. So what he would do is he would take his condos out. And then what he would do is he would practice the drums on the streets and basically kind of busk. And people would walk by and throw him money. It was kind of his open forum. And that's kind of what we're doing here is you get a chance to practice. Why not now? If not now, when? If not when, where? So we get a chance to do this for fun on YouTube and let everybody else join in and listen. A friend Jordan asked the question and he says, do you know how to stream the games? Well, in the chat here, some of the people had given some information. Some of the other nights when people come in, you can ask. They can't get you the links in the chat, but there's a website called LiveQQ. You're going to get some Chinese lettering and different stuff there. Well, LiveQQ will be able to give you an opportunity in which to be able to look at maybe possibility of pulling the games. Sometimes it's not always reliable. That's one way in which you can do it. If you have a VPN, DAZN Japan carries the games. That's one opportunity as well. But you'd have to have yourself a VPN to be able to do that. So the pitching change is happening here as we have a new right-hander coming into the ball game. We'll be taking over. This is Moriwaki who is coming in. So he is going to be the fourth pitcher used on the night by the Lions. I'm sure they probably didn't want to go to Moriwaki. That is for sure. They were probably hoping to finish this off with Tohoku, but Tohoku couldn't get the job done. So Ryosuke Moriwaki in. He's worked at 11 ball games this year. He's 0-1. He's got 9 1/3 innings under the belt, 8 hits, 5 walks, 9 strikeouts. He's got an ERA of 2.89, and Hiroki Shimochi striding to the plate. Runners at first and second. He has not been very good tonight at the plate, but that's been the story for the whole season. He's 0 for 4 in this one. He has scored a run, though. So here we go. 2 out and Moriwaki on the mound. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there is a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. Just for other fun things that we do, we also do some swings. We do a lot of shorts, so we got MLB swings. We've got some Japanese swings. So if you guys are into hitting or want to take a look at some of that stuff, we don't break it down, but we do have some slow motion video that we capture and post up on the channel. All kinds of other weird stuff that's all baseball related. Here comes the 0-1. As the fastball is swung on, it is popped up and it's going to be foul. It's going to reach the seats over on the first base side. It's going to run the count to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes here to Shimochi. Eagle fans are into this one as the tying run has come to the plate. Who would have thought it? 5-run lead in the ninth. Everything has happened with 2 out. So 2 strikes here. And the other piece is that if you're up at this time of the night, usually 10 o'clock Pacific time during the weekends, that's usually when we call the games. So even if you don't turn your notifications on, you can always try to pop by the channel and see where we're at. Here comes the 0-2. There's a breaking ball swung on it. It's grounded back to the pitcher. Moriwaki has trouble fielding it. He scrambles. He picks it up. He throws to first. And that is going to do it. That's going to end the ball game here on a ground out 1-3 for the 3rd out of the inning. A little bit of panic there for the right-hander. But that is going to do it here. They got 2 runs in the inning on 3 hits. There were no errors, and there were 2 runners left aboard. Your final score, the Seibu Lions 7 and the Tohoku, Rakuten Golden Eagles 4. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back in a few minutes. We'll wrap this one up. We'll give you the rundown, and then we're going to sign off and call it a night. We appreciate you guys for being here.
Good evening, sports fans. I hope you all have been enjoying the game. This is just another message from another Hollis build. I hope that your team is in the lead, but if not, remember, that's life. That's what all the people say. You're riding high in April, shot down in May. But you know I'm gonna change that tune. When I'm back on top in June. I said that's life, and as funny as it may seem, some people get their kicks stomping on my team, but I don't let it get me down. 'Cause this fine old world, it keeps spinning around. I hope you enjoy the rest of the game, and if it remains the same, remember, that's life. You want your fill? Go check another Hollis build on YouTube. Last Raps Baseball. Let's get back to the game. Let's go! You know that's life. You know it. One love and peace.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be a roundup here for you guys, and then we'll give you the out-of-town scoreboard, and then we'll call it a night. Well, this game was like a sandwich. It was a bun on top and a bun on the bottom, and the meat in the middle, as that's how the runs were scored. The bun was the Eagles, as they got 2 runs in the second inning. It was with a leadoff walk to Takeru Okajima. Hiroki Shimochi bounced into a fielder's choice, and then Daichi Suzuki was hit by a pitch after Hikaru Oda struck out. Haruki Nishikawa singled, and then a single to Tsuyoshi Yamazaki brought home the first run in Shimochi. And then a bases-loaded walk to Yoshiaki Watanabe brought home the second run in Daichi Suzuki, and that gave the Eagles a 2-0 lead. Well, then it was all Lions after that for the most part until the latter part of the game. The Lions got 3 runs in the 4th inning with 1 out. It was a Shuta Tonosaki doubled. Then Takira Nakamura walked, as did David McKinnon. Up stepped Ito to the plate, and he bounced into a fielder's choice, 3-2, and that retired Tonosaki for the second out of the inning. But it was with 2 out where Shohei Suzuki delivered a bases-clearing triple to bring home 3 runs, and that gave the Lions the lead, and they never looked back. In the 5th inning, the Lions padded their lead. They added 3 more with 1 out. It was a Shinya Hasegawa reached on an error by the third baseman. Then Ninting Wu singled. And then Shuta Tonosaki hit a sacrifice fly to bring home Hasegawa with the 4th run of the ball game. After a walk to Takeya Nakamura, up stepped David McKinnon, and he tripled home 2 more runs, and that increased the scoreline to 6-2. The bottom of the 8th inning, the Lions added to their lead, and was kind of glad that they did, I'm sure. With 1 out, it was Shohei Suzuki again. He singled. Then Yuta Koga singled, and then it was Ryosuke Kadama had a sacrifice bunt with runners on the corners that ended up bringing home Shohei Suzuki with the 7th run of the ball game. And then that ended up being where it ended all the scoring for the Lions. In the top of the 9th inning, the Eagles made it entertaining and interesting, all with 2 out against the reliever Tanoko. Yoshiaki Watanabe singled. Then it was a double by the pinch hitter Hirota Kobakata. And then a single by Hideto Asamura brought home 2 runs. And then after a walk to Takeru Okajima, they had to go to the bullpen, did Kaz Mitsui. And then it was Hiroki Shimochi who ended up grounding back to the pitcher to end the ball game. But your final score was the Lions 7 and the Eagles 4. 7-9-1 for the Lions, 4-9-1 for the Eagles. And that is the final score in this one. We'll take a quick peek at the out-of-town scoreboard, and then we're going to sign it off. As we go around the NPB tonight, there are a couple of finals, but some of the games are still underway. In the top of the 11th inning at the Tokyo Dome, it is a 2-2 game between the Carp and the Giants. Game has been fairly well played so far tonight. In the ball game is over at the Cochin Stadium. 7-2, the Tigers knocked off the Bay Stars. The other game in the Pacific League saw the Fighters shut out the Marines 5-0 at Escon Field in Hokkaido. Of course, this one ended 7-4 for the Lions over the Golden Eagles. Other games to start in about 15 minutes' time include the Swallows and the Dragons. That goes off at 6 o'clock local time in Japan, or 1800 hours, I should say, as is the game at the Kyocera Dome between the Buffaloes and the Hawks. Once again, everybody, we appreciate everybody for listening in here tonight. It's been another Last Raps Baseball video production. Remember, we're on the airwaves again tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Pacific, 1 a.m. Eastern, as these same two teams will call that game again. We appreciate everybody for listening in here tonight, and we thank you guys for your support. Have a great night, everybody, and we will see you again on the flip side.